Sir, 2 tickets to the World Cup quarterfinals will be punched on Monday. Team USA plays Belgium at 8 p.m. The U.S. men's team got some great news on Sunday. Florian Balogun has his red card suspended. His red card suspension, I should say, postponed by FIFA. That allows him to play tonight in Seattle. It's the second time this World Cup a red card suspension has been postponed. Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo was allowed to play in a group stage after FIFA intervention. Portugal's going to play Spain today at 3 in the knockout round. Ronaldo told reporters this will be his last World Cup. In golf, Patrick Harrington won the U.S. Senior Open over the weekend at Scioto Country Club. In baseball Sunday, White Sox beat the Guardians 7-6. They lead the Guardians by a game in the AL Central. As for the Reds, Cincinnati beat Baltimore 3-2 yesterday. Reds are off Monday. They'll host the Phillies on Tuesday. Team USA is looking to make the World Cup quarterfinals for the first time since 2002. Mike DeCourcy covers the men's national team for the Sporting News, and he'll join us coming up in 30 minutes right here on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy, Austin Ward. My good buddy, Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Barry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
and
then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says "on."
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist: Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
Yeah, the phrasing there is important. So Flo Balogun's red card suspension postponed by football's international governing body. Hooray, corruption! Happy Monday, everybody. Hope we're all dealing with our digits, all 10 of our digits. Well, I guess 20 if you're talking about the digits on your feet as we come into Monday, post 4th of July weekend. Hope if you are back at work, it was a relaxing, restful weekend that you kind of feel like, I'm good to come back to work. I had 4 good days off, but you could be like Uncle Bo and making the most of this by taking the next couple of days off. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, with you for the next 3 hours. We brought in former Ohio State quarterback Justin Zwick, bud.
Hey, how we doing?
Good, man. How was your weekend?
Not a relaxing weekend, even though you get the days off and you got people in town. But, just a lot of being outside in the heat at the pool and, just trying to keep people busy, keep the little ones going.
You got all 10?
We got all 10. I am not a believer of shooting fireworks off at the home. I like when neighbors do it. I don't like having anything that could blow digits off of me, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I figured since I'm having pops over the weekend, I'm going to do less fireworks because
less dangerous stuff.
You
after
do not want to combine the two
early in the day. You don't want to be firing things off.
You let everybody else in your neighborhood kind of deal with it for you. Hearing fireworks last night, certainly I was one of. There were probably a lot of people watching England and Mexico in their World Cup round of 16 matchup, into which the English won 3-2. You would hear fireworks go off around you. So it's. Sundown in the 9 o'clock hour?
Yeah, 9:30.
You're not getting really the ability to do fireworks until about 10 o'clock. And I thought to myself last night, Justin, what's the statute of limitations for 4th of July fireworks? Because we've all been there before. And myself less so over the last couple of years. Because again, I think if I'm going to be drinking, I'm going to do less fireworks shooting off myself. But you're going to stock up before the weekend. And probably the 4th of July, you shoot off as much as you can. And then you've got a surplus left over the next couple of days. Do you give them into, 3-4 days after before it's like, all right, guys, let's put them away till next year?
I think I would say and be okay with a week before, leading up to, and then maybe the week after.
Yeah.
I think that's a good window for me to, if someone's shooting them off, I'm not going to get, angry. Oh, the kids are sleeping. It's just going to be like, all right, hey, listen, we're in that summer months. The 4th was just there. I'm glad people are excited about it. And, I want to see that, that happening. So I think a week before, a week after, and then you got to be done with them.
I think that's pretty good, Jay-Z. Usually people hear them tonight and tomorrow, and they're like, oh, quit it, I got to sleep, and all of that. But especially on the 250 week, let's give it, couple good weeks here.
Most of us aren't going to be around to see like the next big 300 or maybe 275, but this is a big one, so we got to celebrate it a little bit.
Reese, you said something though about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock for fireworks. Mm-hmm. There were people shooting them off in the middle of the day, which I didn't necessarily understand.
What's that about?
But we were in a pool on Saturday, swimming and hanging out, and there's people in the neighborhood we're at shooting off fireworks periodically, and I'm like, well, you're kind of wasting your money, I feel. You're not getting the full effect, but you do you.
It gets the party going, All of a sudden you're at the party and boom, boom, boom. Like, okay.
It could be a hair of the dog situation where you've imbibed the night before, you wake up, you've had a couple pops, and fireworks sound like a great idea.
Exactly.
Damn it, the time of day. I'm always of the mindset, though, if I can't see them, what's the point?
Yeah, well.
So
that's one big thing with fireworks.
Would factor later into the evening, I would think. But for tonight's purposes, you're probably going to find yourself up a little later than you normally would on a Monday. Mm-hmm. As you heard there in the update, Team USA has Belgium in the round of 32, in the round of 16 matchup, I should say. Opportunity for the men's national team to make the quarterfinals of the World Cup for the first time since 2002. It's been a big deal with Team USA, with Canada, with Mexico hosting the World Cup. And I do think that for the first time in maybe ever, the U.S. found themselves like a traditional soccer power in that FIFA acted on their behalf. Now, I don't think I'm overstepping by saying FIFA, one of the most corrupt bodies in sport. Certainly, they're up there with with the IOC in terms of hooray corruption and what are rules? Rules don't really apply. Rules apply to thee, but not to me. With the news yesterday of the red card that was handed to U.S. striker Flo Balogun back in their round of in their last round matchup against Bosnia. You get the red card, you're out the next game. You're dismissed from the current match, and then you're out the next game is how the red cards work. And then on Sunday, you got the news that the red card suspension, they were going to postpone it. Certainly, he'll have to serve it sometime, I guess, maybe. FIFA saying, well, don't do anything this match or in consecutive matches, or else you're really going to get it.
You're on probation.
It's double secret probation,
yes.
I guess, at this point. If you're a team playing Team USA, you're probably not thrilled because you had spent the better part of last week preparing for Team USA not to have Balogun. And now that this comes down less than 24 hours, or I'd say a little over 24 hours from the match tonight, 8 o'clock, you're less than thrilled. But that's how FIFA works.
Well, that's how FIFA works. I'm not a soccer aficionado, but watching that play and
it was a bad card.
Seeing that play and being like, oh, so this is what a red card is? I mean, He's trying to go after a ball. He's off-centered. He puts his foot down, and all it happens to be on the guy. I mean, it looked like just a bang-bang play, bad luck for the guy who got stepped on, but it didn't seem like anything was happening. So I'm like, if this is what a red card gets, I guess that's how it goes. And there's no appeal process in FIFA or in this tournament, right? There is, I think, in regular, like if you're playing in your
international
regular
play, I think you can appeal. In this, there isn't, but FIFA makes its own rules as they go.
Hey, maybe the Donald got involved and made some phone calls. I don't know what we're saying, but like, hey, we're hosting. We're actually playing pretty good. That was bogus. It shouldn't have been a red card in the first place. What are we doing here? I'm glad they figured it out.
It's like with targeting, right?
Yes.
Where the rule is, I don't love the implementation of it.
Yep.
I understand if you're going to call a red, or you're going to hand out a red card, you're going to call a foul because you're looking out for player safety, where you have cleats go into ankles or cleats go into knees or calves. You want to
avoid that. You
Exactly.
want to try and not have that in the game, but you got to understand just like with the targeting football, it happens so fast. Mm-hmm. These guys are such good athletes in the way they can move their body and get low and everything else at the point of contact. And then you're just going to go really slow motion on something and say, no, he could have done something else there. Like, it blows my mind. So it's kind of the same thing with the soccer. Now, in the targeting, I look at the targeting and we get kicked out as, like, you launched the top of your helmet into somebody, like not a bang-bang play.
Head-hunting.
Yeah, if you're head-hunting, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And even then, you lose half of that game and a half in the next game, not the entire game. I think we'd all felt better if they just said, red card, you're going to miss the rest of this game, and then you get the
see in the
first
next
half.
round.
Yeah, well, you get to, you miss the next or the first half of the next game or something. That just it makes you feel a little bit better that he's going to actually be able to play. But, these calls that are so subjective and people, the VAR system, whatever that is, I mean, that's been coming into play a lot. I don't know if this had anything to do with the red card, but I've seen that and heard that name or those three letters a lot. But it's all interesting, but I'm glad they figured it out because, I mean, having the games here, hosting it, all the excitement around the World Cup in the United States, to have the United States actually playing pretty well and looking like a soccer team, like we wanted that guy out there to play our best. And, I'm glad they figured that out.
So you guys talk about the targeting rule, and there is an appeal process in the targeting rule where the conference and the team can go ahead and appeal that, and then they can judge on what that is. There is no appeal process on red cards in this. The whole thing looks sketchy, and I think two things can be true. It can be true that he didn't deserve that. And then it could also be true that them rescinding this and government officials getting involved and all the money they're making here in the United States as the host country makes it look bad. I'm sure, like when this stuff kind of happens with teams that I root for, I always try to flip it the other way. And like, hey, if this would have happened to my team in reverse. So like, what if Belgium had a player that got a red card in the last game that was a questionable red card, and then they rescinded it and that player got to play tonight? How would you feel? I think the reaction would be a lot different if that's what had happened, if it had been in reverse. But again, two things could be true. And it kind of seems like in the end for him, the right thing happened here in the fact that, hey, that was kind of bogus. You don't have to miss the next game. I don't know. What is this? Is he on probation? Where if you do this again, you're going to have to serve your sentence?
It is double secret probation.
I think that's what Ronaldo got to start the thing, right?
Yes,
like, we're going to not have you do this, but you're on probation for a year.
He had a 3-game suspension, I think, going into the World Cup, and they said, "Nah, you're good. Yeah. We'll hold off on." I mean, it's Dean Wormer coming into the frat house saying, "You're on double secret probation." Like, I don't even know what that means. There is a new wrinkle to this, and I'm reading this from the New York Post, where Belgian soccer officials on Monday were granted the right to appeal the ruling.
Appeal the appeal?
They're appealing the rule.
That you can't even appeal.
So now that there is appeal, the bosses of the Belgian Soccer Federation wrote to FIFA chiefs saying they were astonished by the dramatic decision, and the right to appeal has now been given that green light. So this is reporting from The Athletic, who broke the Balogun news on Sunday. So we're not through this yet.
Can we get a judge in Lubbock, Texas, too?
Let the jokes commence. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News has been all over the U.S. men's national team since the early 2000s, right? 2002 was the last time Team USA made the men's World Cup quarterfinal. So he'll join us at 9:45 because, again, we're not out of this yet.
Yeah.
Austin Ward, big football fan, but also a big friend of the program, will join us at 10:30 in his normal Monday spot. We'll do the weekend that was, and we'll blitz it coming up at 11 o'clock. But I've got a Cavaliers sweatshirt on. I'm trying to will something into existence because, yes, we are back on LeBron watch. We'll have more on that coming up next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination. Get Eco.
ECO. Jerry, you're the kind of guy who likes to save money while you do good for the planet, right?
Well, that's why I invented the biodegradable doggy poop bag, Aaron. I'm ecological and economical.
Well, usually the most economical thing you can do when your air conditioner dies is get it repaired. A quick fix can give you years more service.
That sounds economical.
But with older models, those repairs can get pretty expensive, and it'll still use way more energy than a newer model does.
Which is less ecological and less economical.
Get Eco.
ECO. You see where I'm going with this, Jerry?
I sure do. As hard as it is to toss out your old AC and replace the whole thing, it could actually be cheaper in the long run.
Get Eco.
ECO. Are you really a big deal in the poop bag industry, Jerry?
The doggos love me, Aaron.
Get Eco.
ECO. Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians. GetEco.com.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
If you dread dealing with your insurance company more than you dread yard work, in 90-degree weather.
Wow, it is a scorcher out there today.
With a swarm of hungry mosquitoes buzzing around, then you might have Insuranoia. And if you have Insuranoia, then you should get NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Bobby Carpenter was voted Best Talk Radio Personality by Columbus Monthly Readers. Catch Bobby daily on Morning Chew, 6 to 8 a.m. on the Fan's YouTube channel, the Fan app, and on demand on the 10 TV streaming app. Oh, and Tito's there too. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plan on a scattered shower or storm chance for the rest of the day. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. We see high temperatures in the mid-80s. Any stray showers or storms end early tonight with a partly cloudy sky. Still warm, though. Lows around 70. Mid-80s again on Tuesday. Another humid one. Might be another shower or storm, again mainly during the afternoon and evening. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
I would disagree with Big Voice Guy's statement just now. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, right? Not quality top men, but Justin Zwick, I would argue is quality.
Yeah, that guy better check himself.
Top men on this station, and he joins us today and tomorrow from 9 a.m. until noon. Justin, thanks so much for doing that post 4th of July weekend. I do want you to think before 10 o'clock how many autographs you think you gave out when you were the starting quarterback at Ohio State. Actually, when you were I'll use the
started before that.
Student athlete at Ohio State, how many autographs you gave out and how much you think while you were donning the scarlet and gray, the autograph would have been worth, and relative to what it is worth. Look, you're one of 10 maybe in the country starting quarterback at the biggest football school in the country, and how much that's worth. And then think about how much that would be worth now and how much somebody would be willing to pay to have you sign something. And this is deserving for Jeremiah Smith, what we'll talk about at 10 o'clock. So if you're interested in getting something signed by number 4, you'll have a great opportunity to do so at potentially great cost to you, but also potentially great return on that investment if he, in fact, does become what everybody thinks he's going to this season and then at the next level. We'll be awaiting FIFA's decision of Belgium's appeal.
Yeah, the day just got interesting, huh? Before a game tonight at 8 o'clock, all of a sudden we don't know if he's going to play.
I don't know who this affects more. I mean, if you're Belgium, you've been playing as though Flo Balogun's not going to be playing against you tonight in their World Cup round of 16 matchup against the United States. Then on Sunday, the news comes down that he has his red card suspension postponed. He'll have to serve it later, or potentially if he does something out of hand in this match, then it's double the punishment.
Double bad.
No idea what it means because it's FIFA. No idea what this appeal means because it's FIFA. Yeah. Mike DeCourcy maybe will be able to shed some light on that when he joins us at 9:45. Another thing that's as, I'd say, clear as mud is LeBron James. Although we're getting some clarity on it. Over the weekend, you've had his agent, Rich Paul. He does a podcast with Max Kellerman saying that if the New York Knicks hadn't won the championship, LeBron would be donning orange and blue. Now, there's, I guess, still a chance. I don't think they've been completely eliminated. You've heard the Sixers, after acquiring Jaylen Brown, could be interested. I think any team right now looking to get better would and should be interested in adding LeBron James, especially if the reporting that he'll take the vet minimum at $4 million is correct.
Yeah, if you're going to get him at a discount.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron James is, by all accounts, still a top 15 player in the league.
Yeah, I'd say so.
At 40, whatever he is. I mean, he's still doing it at a high clip. Now, you might not get, every other, or, game in, game out, every, back-to-backs out of him or this and that and the other. But to have somebody with that IQ and that pedigree come in and be a part of your team is a no-brainer. Now, I maybe wouldn't have said that. I guess it all kind of depends. 10 years ago, I don't know that I'd have said that. Because, LeBron likes to come in. He likes to bring his people in. He kind of likes to run the organization how he thinks. You get that feel anyway.
Oh, he comes in and runs the show.
He runs the show.
He did it in 2016. He facilitated the Andrew Wiggins trade that brought Kevin Love to Cleveland. Like, he facilitated, I should say, David Blatt being ejected as the coach and Tyronn Lue coming in as the coach. And so everywhere he's been.
So everywhere he's been that's been the case. But now at the end of his career, is he just kind of looking like, all right, listen, Cleveland just makes so much sense. I mean, it just does. They have a house there. They have the history there. They have a good team there. I mean, there was a team that we expected to make to the Eastern Conference Finals this year, and, the season didn't end up the way they wanted to. But if you add a piece like that and they're able to keep, your young guys, maybe get rid of Harden. I don't know if that's something that helps you there. But, but at this stage in his life, I think it would be a home run.
We say that about LeBron, and maybe he doesn't want to run the show still, but yet all the reports this weekend that the Cavs are saving a spot for Bronny on the roster as well.
Okay.
So it may not be how it
if that's
used
what
to
it takes,
but
if that's what it takes.
You understand you understand what you invite by bringing LeBron James onto your team, at least at this point. And if you don't, shame on you.
Yeah, fair.
Mark Stein says there's a growing belief among teams pursuing LeBron that the Cavs are the favorite. He adds the teams believe the opportunity that LeBron has to finish his career where he started holds a strong appeal. Like the emotional side, like you had mentioned, does hold a lot more weight than another team like the Warriors or like the Sixers if they're going to pay him the $4 million veteran minimum. Like you add the idea that with LeBron, any year you have Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen and the $240 million roster, you better be making the Eastern Conference Finals, but you bring on LeBron, and if you get him at the veteran minimum, I think instantly moves you into the catbird seat in that conference. Does it make you stronger than some of the teams out west? Well, I don't know. And I kind of lean no. However, you can't do nothing if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, because they've done a lot of nothing.
Yeah, they haven't made any splashes. Maybe this was just something that they knew or had a really good feeling about or wanted to put all their cards into this one and saying this is the piece that can maybe help us get there, which is not a terrible play. But if you don't get it, then, we're sitting here and wondering, well, what did we do to get better this summer? Right,
and so Rich Paul is James's agent and best friend, and he suggested Saturday, decision's not close, and that could be a couple days. So as of Saturday, when it was it last week when he told the Lakers, hey, move on without me, I'm going to go find another place to play, then you're on LeBron watch. And this is what he does. LeBron James is the master at manipulating the news cycle for him. Because as much as there is to talk about out there, you're still leading shows in other markets about LeBron, about a 48-year-old basketball player. You're not talking about Zach Werenski at the start of the show when maybe you should be leaning in that direction, or you're not talking about the Knicks, or you're not talking about in other markets the biggest team there, because there's this LeBron that even the casual fans want to know what this guy's going to do.
Oh, and what has he been doing in the last week? He's been back in the Akron-Canton area. He's been in that area, working out, going to, Pilates classes and being around with, I saw him and Sion Cotton in a picture after taking a workout class.
Yep.
So like you become a free agent, and then you're hanging out in the area that everybody thinks that you're going to end up at. He could just be manipulating everybody, but in a way, I just feel like he's back there seeing, checking on his crib and doing all the stuff and, saying, yeah, I could get back into this.
So I'm wearing my Cavs sweatshirt to speak it into existence.
Manifesting, I love it.
Let's manifest LeBron in a return to Cleveland, and let's manifest the Cavaliers back in the NBA Finals with 41-year-old LeBron James. It would be interesting from this Cavs fan standpoint because I don't think of the Warriors as much anymore. They used to be the villain. Certainly they were more hateable when they had Kevin Durant. Because I had, honestly...
Well, and we were battling, year in, year out there, so that was like a rivalry.
I had respect for him as a homegrown dynasty with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Like, as hateable as some of those characters are, they were all guys that came up in that
We started to hate them because they were so dang good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, we got to go against them again.
The Tom Brady thing, the Bill Belichick thing, the Nick Saban thing.
Originally, they're like, oh, these seem like cool guys, and they're shooting the lights out of the gym. Like, this is fun. And then they started beating us in the finals, and we're like, all right,
it's how
they're now enemy number one.
Feel about Ohio State.
Yep.
Like, this is the boogeyman of your sport. And then when they added Kevin Durant, I think it ratcheted it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Certainly Kevin Durant, a hateable player, certainly a villain.
Yeah, it did worse for him, but the team in general is like, oh, okay, so we're just doing this now.
And so I didn't care if LeBron was going to go to Golden State and team up with Draymond and Steph, and they were going to bring in Anthony Davis and be the Wild Hogs Warriors.
Like the Globetrotters.
It would have been kind of fun.
Yeah, it would have been fun to watch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That would have been so amazing.
I'll tune into some of those games, yeah.
They're all maybe grand total playing 30 games together in a season, but boy, would that be
fun 30 games.
Whereas... LeBron going to Philly, LeBron going to Boston doesn't necessarily, LeBron going to Cleveland obviously does it. And I do think from an ownership perspective, you want LeBron because LeBron sells tickets. And LeBron puts butts in seats. And LeBron makes your product watchable on a night in and night out basis, whereas having the 5 that the Cavs do, I don't know if that moves the needle.
And just everything that goes around with him coming back and probably, if he were to come back, probably retiring, there and kind of having that whole... 1,000%. So it's just like
how
that.
You said probably.
That storybook ending is like right there, and it's going to be just a huge ordeal. Now, as a Cavs fan, do you want that?
I do.
So say he comes back for this year, and then he goes, all right, I'm doing one more year. This is my swan song, and we got to deal with that.
I have such appreciation for LeBron winning a championship that he has carte blanche with me.
All right, I like that.
It's from a basketball and from an emotional standpoint. I don't fault him anymore for the decision. A lot of Cleveland fans do. Mm-hmm. I get it. You embarrassed him on a national stage. I don't fault him for that. I give him great credit, and I have so much appreciation for him winning a championship.
He did all he could here for a long time.
Ohio,
went away
and he had them a
back.
legitimate finals contender going up against a dynasty like the Golden State Warriors. He's, in my book, good on whatever he wants to do with this. And I hope, again, his last chapter is with the Cleveland Cavaliers. There was also something else from over the weekend that we were kind of waiting on, and there's still a couple of days for the Anaheim Ducks to make a decision that could heavily impact the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'll explain in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Cool cars, cool people, good tires. Get ready for the biggest and best automotive happening of the year. The Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals presented by Grundy Insurance. Over 6,000 classes. Shop the swap meet in Huge Fender Midway. See which ride takes home the crown of the Good Guys 2026 Forge Line Street Machine and Classic Instrument Street Rod of the Year. All this weekend at the newly renovated Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Details at good-guys.com.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I moved back to Columbus with my beautiful wife and our 2 amazing daughters and our golden retriever, Harley. This community brought me back because this is where I feel connected. Where my daughters were born, this is my home. And that is to say, I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's up? What's up, man? Sup with you?
Sponsored by Apex Pros. The pros who knows.
Here's what's up on a Monday. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, Justin Zwick rolling with you until noon today. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News will join us in about 15 minutes. The Flo Balogun suspension postponement is being appealed to FIFA by Belgium because they're not thrilled with how things went over the last 24 hours. Justin, I can't blame them.
No, I'm sorry about that. I got to turn that on. Yeah, I don't blame them. But as we were talking kind of off air earlier, like if it would have happened to Belgium's player, in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that guy playing. I don't agree with that. As a sports fan, I guess.
The application of the red card was bad. I don't agree with how if you're given a red card, you're out that game, and then you're automatically suspended the next game without opportunity for appeal. But again, you could look to me and say, well, that's easy to say, Eric. You're a fan of America. You're a fan of the U.S. men's national team. And so we will have, if any updates come down in the next couple of hours, we will have those for you. They got to act quickly because 8 o'clock's going to be here before you know it.
Right before you know it, yeah.
So that game will kick 8 o'clock Lumen Field in Seattle. And the thing that I've given Fox a lot of credit for, because I hate the hydration breaks, I hate the commercialization of whatever Fox touches, more commercials, more breaks, is that when they say a kickoff time, the boot meets the ball damn near close to what they say. So
it's not a half hour later.
Credit to them there. This station is named The Fan. Fan is short for fanatic. And Justin, you know about as well as anybody that puts their mouth to a microphone here that fans in this market are fanatics for their teams. And with that comes a lot of emotional responses to things, or things when you do have emotional responses to them, they don't come at you like a 4 or a 5. They're a 10 or 11 on sometimes how ridiculous the scale can be. I think Blue Jackets fans were right to be in their feelings over the last couple of weeks about Zach Werenski. I think Blue Jackets are still right to be in their feelings however they want to be about the statements that came out last week where Don Waddell and Zach, or whether it was Zach's representation that wrote the statement from Z that we want to be in Columbus. We want to play for this organization. We want to be here. And my question is, well, how long are we doing this for? Yeah. And so I get Jackets fans having heavy hearts last week and, feeling like the sky is falling, our pets' heads are falling off. And I wonder if it could get worse this week as we are all now rooting for really the Anaheim Ducks to not match an offer sheet tendered by the Philadelphia Flyers for the young center and Leo Carlson. So this news came out late last week into the weekend, a 5-year, $90 million offer sheet to the 21-year-old Carlson from Philadelphia. Now, Anaheim's got until Friday to match that offer. That's a lot of money for a 21-year-old.
Why do you want Anaheim not to match?
I guess I'd want Anaheim to match. Should I be saying that?
No, we don't. Well, I didn't think you wanted him to match because then somebody might want to come after.
I don't want the Flyers to look west and say, well, Fantilli could also be offered.
So who's to say if
Philly might come after him, I guess.
If Anaheim doesn't match and Carlson goes to Philly,
would Anaheim match?
Who's to say Anaheim doesn't offer Fantilli?
I guess that's a very
so either way. I guess it doesn't matter. One of them might be offering our guy.
Either way, none of this was good for the Columbus Blue Jackets because even if nobody comes to offer Adam Fantilli, unfortunately, unless the NHL just says that's a ridiculous contract, no,
could they step in and do anything?
No, maybe not. But unless the Blue Jackets can, talk with Fantilli's representation and say, listen, we want to give you a big long-term deal here. Or would you prefer a bridge deal so you can prove you can get that? I can't believe that we're talking about Leo Carlson being the highest paid player in the NHL. That's just unfathomable to me. And he's a great young player. Had a great year last year. 67 points, I believe, in 70
games. Yep.
But the fact that he's going to be the highest player in the NHL is crazy. I don't understand why these leagues continue to reset with every contract. It doesn't make sense.
Does it have to do with like maybe the salary cap going up soon? Do they have to renegotiate that? So they're thinking like, well, we're going to get this deal now, and it's going to look better down the road.
So the salary cap has gone up the last 2 years, and it's going up at least next year, maybe the year after. But still, it's just crazy. Like, even if the salary cap is going up, which it is, I just think that's not a contract you need to do right now. You don't need to make that offer. And I'm sure they threw it out there further so Anaheim wouldn't match, quite frankly. But
so the offer from the Flyers carries an $18 million average annual value. It'd make him the highest paid player in the NHL. Leon Draisaitl's making 14, and then Kirill Kaprizov's making 17 from the Minnesota Wild. That's set next season. If Anaheim does not match, Flyers would land Karlsson, and they would surrender their first round picks in each of the next 4 drafts. So that would be the return that Anaheim would get. And I guess I would say I'd rather have Philly get Karlsson, because I would think less that Anaheim would want to come for Fantilli, because I would argue that Fantilli will stay with us.
What kind of deal is he going to get? Do we have money to match anybody?
Fantilli, I don't think, would command the $18 million average annual value, and I definitely don't think he'd command the 5 years, $90 million.
So Don Waddell addressed this kind of like Anaheim did. Anaheim said that they would match any offer on Karlsson, and Anaheim also had a situation yesterday where it was rumored that an offer sheet had been given to one of their young defensemen, Pavel Mintyukov, and that spurred them to sign a contract with him. Whether that matched the offer sheet or not, I don't know if he ever signed the offer sheet, but he was presented to one. The interesting thing here is Karlsson had 4 offer sheets given to him, and I wonder, like, if anybody has put one in front of Fantilli. It baffles me at the lack of movement from the Columbus Blue Jackets this offseason, and I understand the Zach thing was big, and they had to deal with that immediately, but as soon as this news came out with Karlsson, like, you got to get Fantilli's agent on the phone. Like, let's get this worked out now.
So Waddell, you're right, he did address an offer sheet to Fantilli, but this was before the Karlsson news, if I'm understanding things. From Waddell, quote, if an offer sheet comes along, we're in a situation where we've got lots of cap space. If it happened, we're able to match anything. I don't expect it, but you never know in this business. And that was before Philadelphia offers Karlsson's camp 5 years, $90 million.
And that was discussing more than just Adam Fantilli, because you had Jet Greaves and Cole Sillinger, who were both in that same boat as well. They have filed for salary arbitration now, so they are not eligible for offer sheets anymore. So that does not apply to Jet Greaves and Cole Sillinger anymore. So basically what that means is, regardless, they're going to be on the Columbus Blue Jackets next year, unless there would be a trade that either of them would be involved in, and I'm pretty sure Jet Greaves is not going to be involved in anything like that.
So they're just going to the league saying, we think we should be making more money? Is that what that means?
So it's just with these players' rights, they have this, so a third party, if they can't, in the allotted time here, come to an agreement on a contract, it'll go to a third party, and that person will decide. And the Blue Jackets can pick 1 or 2 years on the contract, and I guess they've said the Blue Jackets will pick 1, because if it was 2 years, that would walk them into unrestricted free agency. So after 1 year, you still hold their rights as a restricted free agent. So regardless, those guys are going to be on the Blue Jackets. Now, Fantilli wasn't in that situation where he could file for salary arbitration. He's not old enough yet, or had a long enough contract so far, as he's still on his entry-level contract. So let's just get it done.
I would like to see Philadelphia land Karlsson, because I would have more faith that the Blue Jackets would match whatever Anaheim offered to Fantilli.
And there's been rumors that if Anaheim does match, that Philadelphia's next call is to Fantilli's agent.
And they probably should. I would just be frightened to try to match a Philadelphia offer.
Are we better off than we were last week with the Blue Jackets? I don't know. It doesn't seem.
It's a good question.
I mean, Zach's coming back, I guess, so that's
I guess
positive.
This is how I look at all of it. Are they better? Are they a better team right now than they are last year? They replaced Marchment with Nichushkin, and some people say Nichushkin's a little better player, but they're pretty similar. And Boone Jenner with Ryan Lomberg, I don't know if that's better or not. I don't think so. And then you get the news that Isaac Lundestrom has an Achilles, and he's going to be out till at least December. So I don't think the Jackets are a better team right now than they were last year. They might be the same, but
Aaron Portzline did a projected lineup for the Blue Jackets that includes Adam Fantilli. He did that on his Monday mailbag at The Athletic. With anything Porty writes, especially at this time of the year, I would advise heavily to subscribe to The Athletic. But it has, for me, a team that's still going to be chasing the 8. And I think for Zach Werenski, for anybody, this organization needs to be better than that.
And do you think Zach was sitting there like, we haven't done anything? Maybe this isn't, the place I want to be here long term. And do you think that had anything to play into, his kind of the talks they had?
To think that wasn't the case, right? There was nothing more he could have won but the Stanley Cup this year.
We got to get over that hump, and you guys got to help me do that.
You're winning a gold medal in the Olympics. You've got a kid. You're named the best defenseman in the league, and your team has nothing else to show for it.
You're sitting here during the time where you could be making moves saying, what's going on?
Am I getting better? Is my team getting better? Is my team doing enough to make it better or make it more plausible for me to win a Stanley Cup? Answer's no.
There are still a lot of unanswered questions with that situation.
There's still a lot of time, right, for Don Waddell. And there's still a lot of time for the Blue Jackets organization to make the fan base feel better about going into next season. But these last couple of weeks, compounded by the news of the weekend, cannot have anybody, I think, feeling great. Feeling good, maybe, but feeling great. I would ask Blue Jackets, feeling great, feeling good. How are you? 8 o'clock's coming, and we're still kind of in a gray area about Flo Balogun. The U.S. men's national team striker was granted participation in tonight's matchup that would send, if the U.S. wins, into the quarterfinals for the first time since 2002. But Belgium is appealing that suspension. What could all of this mean as we, again, inch closer to that 8 o'clock kickoff tonight in Seattle? Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News will join us coming up next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I'm Leslie from Pella, Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Summer heats up fast here in Columbus, and bad windows can have a tough time keeping a home cool and can send energy bills through the roof.
I hate to admit it, but we've had some complaints about our windows doing that.
Uh-oh.
I just tell them it's just like being at the beach, minus the water and the beach. And the happiness, and you're in your living room. It's gross.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been your one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit CECturfandtractor.com today.
Now at Kroger, your points add up to more ways to save every trip. Use them your way to take dollars off groceries at checkout or save at the pump. You can even save up to $35 on your next fill-up. Same points, more choices. And with low prices on fresh, quality food, plus digital and personalized offers tailored to how you shop, your dollar goes further. Redeem your points online or in the app. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site or store for details.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan. I have a special announcement. Common Man and Timmy is the most listened to radio show in the state of Ohio. Coming in at number 2, Common Sense. You should listen anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, Justin Zwick, kind enough to give us some of his time today and tomorrow. We'll roll from 9 to noon. Tomorrow morning shows got a lot riding on what happens tonight at 8 o'clock at Lumen Field in Seattle. It'll be the news yesterday. Flo Balogun had his suspension postponed from that red card that he was served back in their win over Bosnia and Herzegovina. News this morning from The Athletic that Belgium is appealing that suspension. For what all this could mean, we go out now to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Bring on great friend of the program, Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News. Mike, thanks for the time this morning. What should we expect at 8 o'clock tonight?
You're asking me what to expect from a process that produced a withdrawal. This is the first time that I have ever heard basically the idea that a suspension could be suspended. I mean, how about that? That is an interesting concept, and so I expect that Fuller and Balogun will be on the field up in Seattle when they play, but I can't say for certain. It is what happened really begins with the fact that hey, the Columbus Crew, if something happens to one of their guys. And he is suspended for a game because of a red card that the crew management and coaches think, man, that wasn't right. They have a mechanism by which they can appeal that. And that's true. I've made sure I checked this. It's true in La Liga, in Spain, in Serie A, in Italy, in the Premier League in England, in the Bundesliga in Germany. If there are varying levels of hey, if you want to do you better be sure. Like if you do it in England and they think you're really fooling around, they can extend the suspension. If you do it in the U.S. in MLS, you get 2 cracks, and those 2 cracks include any playoff game you might play. So you better be right, which in this case they were, but there was no device by which they could appeal. The United States men's national team had no process because the World Cup doesn't have one. Well, that's a ridiculous construct. How can you play the biggest tournament on the planet and not have a methodology for one to appeal a decision when every other league on the planet has that?
Agreed 1,000% here, Mike. Let's go back to yesterday before the news broke down. All right, so we're going into this game tonight, 8 o'clock, without Flo. What chances do you give us there? Or how can we maybe switch the lineup up to be competitive in this game tonight if something crazy happens today and this second or third appeal, whatever this is, goes through and he's not on the field tonight?
Yeah, I saw a lot of different fan posts about, well, you changed the formation to have 2 strikers. Like, no, like Ricardo Pepi's a good player. he had a really nice year in the Netherlands this year, and he's continued to grow as a soccer player since he missed out on the 22 World Cup. He probably would have made it if he had stayed in Major League Soccer one more year. He didn't need the process of trying to adjust to Europe and a different level and a different culture and all that on the eve of the World Cup. It was something that I thought was a mistake, and it cost him 2022. But he came back and had a bunch of good years in a row. He's continued to grow as a player, and he would have been fine in that role if he had, or if he does have, to start for the USMNT. He's not as good at most things as Fuller and Balogun is, especially with Balo playing the way he has over the course of this tournament. His strength, his ability to get the ball through multiple defenders and through a goalkeeper. One of the things that I've really loved about Erling Haaland in this tournament for Norway, who's one of the 3 leading scorers and got them through Brazil, is that Haaland understands, like, it's important that the ball cross the line by 1 inch. As long as all the ball is over the line, it doesn't matter if you tear a hole through the net. And so he doesn't overpower the ball when it's not called for. And that's what Balogun has been doing through most of this tournament.
Mike, it seems like the World Cup is what everybody is talking about. The TV numbers are through the roof. The stadiums are full. They're all over social media. The ticket prices are up. Do you think that FIFA, the World Cup, the United States, any of them could have thought that this would be the success that it has been so far in the United States?
Oh, I think all of them expected this. I think the only impediment to the possible this scenario was some of the concerns about ticket prices and ticket availability and the process to get the tickets. But I never had any doubt that this was going to be a smash. I wrote months ago, we set here in the U.S. in 1994 the World Cup record for attendance at 3.5 plus million people. And that record stood until this year. And then bringing it back with the expansion of the tournament, I knew that they were going to absolutely destroy that record. And not only did they do that, but they broke that record by more than 1 million people by the time they were done with group play. It just showed that this is the best big event country in the world. We can handle it. We have the facilities in terms of the stadiums. We have the facilities in terms of the cities. Everything was lined up for it to be this big a hit. Like I said, FIFA kind of threw some wrenches in there with the way the tickets went and all that. But the fans who love soccer, both from around the world and here in the U.S., they powered through all that, and they've delivered what we've seen.
Mike DeCourcy, our guest, read his stuff on Twitter at TSN Mike. And just to put in perspective for a lot of our listeners here, Mike, casual football observers that kind of parachute into this because of the spectacle. A win tonight for Team USA puts them into the quarterfinals for the first time since 2002. Just what would a win against Belgium mean for the U.S. men's national team and for soccer in this country?
Well, I think that having the U.S. get that far and play either Spain or Portugal with Cristiano Ronaldo and such a tremendous group of midfielders, Bruno Fernandes, et cetera. They have so many great players. And Spain, an even better team that won the most recent European championships. They've got the best young star on the planet in Lamine Yamal. So everything is sort of lined up if they're able to get there for this to get even bigger than it has for the U.S. The other thing it does is it takes away a lot of the negativity. And one of the things that's bothered me about, I mean, you guys know I'm like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now. Yesterday was 2 weeks. So I'm less than 2 weeks away from retiring from full-time employment at the Sporting News. And so I was feeling a little old guyish over the last week or so when I heard Cristiano Ronaldo had never scored at a World Cup in the knockout rounds. And I'm like, how far are we digging for negative numbers now? Like, that's all we do with numbers. When I was a kid, like, it was Hank Aaron 714 and Kai Cobb 4190 and all that stuff. Like, all the numbers were 511 wins for Cy Young. It was all about greatness. And now we find numbers that can condemn everybody. Well, the people who want to condemn the U.S., if they lose this game, they'll say, see, he didn't get any further than they did last time. Even though they played better and have played some brilliant soccer and filled the stadiums and excited people and all that, those people will go, see, just another round of 16. But if you get to the quarters, then you blow that away and you can just go out and play with the opportunity to do something you've never done before.
Mike, one last question, just real quick. Is Flo Balogun on the field or on the pitch tonight in Seattle?
Yeah, I suspect he will be. One of the interesting things was the declaration that Belgium had appealed this decision to allow him to play. And I'm like, using what? I mean, there was no process to put him out. So how's there a process for appeal? I don't know. I think you can take it to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. I'm not sure. They are in place if people want to do that. So I don't know if that's the venue for appeal, but that's the only one I can see, because I'm sure that FIFA is not going to rescind the decision made in the manner that it was.
No, clear as mud, something FIFA excels at. Mike, thanks so much for the time as always. If we don't talk to you before things become officially official, congratulations on a hell of a career, and enjoy the hell out of these last couple of weeks in the World Cup, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And he joins us again. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. What would you say a return on an investment for a Jeremiah Smith autograph to be? We'll discuss that next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
The big one returns to Ohio. It's the Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals presented by Grundy Insurance. See over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and classic trucks on display. And don't miss Good Guys Autocross racing action, a tire-smoking burnout competition, a pro street takeover, an earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest, meet the top builders, and so much more. Happening all this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first, but when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. Tri-State Men's Health, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
There's something that has always made small towns and great communities strong. It's not the buildings themselves, but the people and who show up for them. The businesses that don't disappear when the work is done. The ones that sponsor the local festivals, cheer from the sidelines, lend a hand when needed, and take pride in calling this place home. For more than 30 years, that's exactly who Newman Roofing has been. Yes, they install roofs, siding, and gutters, but what homeowners remember is how they're treated. The straight answers, the respect for your home, job sites left cleaner than they found them, and craftsmanship that's built to last. Because when you live where you work, every customer is also a neighbor. That's why Newman Roofing has spent decades investing in this community, earning trust one family at a time. Newman Roofing, treating you like family and our community like home. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Summer's hot, but the day's still moving. Good thing Tim Hortons does cold, so you can keep moving too. The morning commute, cool it down and keep it moving with a Tim Hortons iced coffee. Running errands in the afternoon heat, a blackberry citrus refresher can keep things cool while you get back to it. Picking up the kids from camp? Sounds like a s'mores ice cap could make the car line a whole lot cooler. Tim's does cold, so you can refresh, recharge, and take full advantage of all that summer has to offer. Good thing Tim's does cold.
Blackberry citrus refresher contains a blend of juices from concentrate with sugar and other ingredients. Copyright Tim Hortons USA Inc.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Team USA battles Belgium tonight at 8 for a spot in the World Cup quarterfinals. The U.S. men's team was told striker Florian Balogun would be available for Monday's game in Seattle. On Sunday, FIFA postponed his red card suspension that was given in the round of 32 matchup with Bosnia. The Athletics reporting Monday the Belgium Football Federation is appealing Balogun's reinstatement. Tonight's winner gets Spain or Portugal in the quarterfinals. Those teams will meet at AT&T Stadium in Dallas this afternoon at 3. Portuguese star Cristiano Ronaldo told reporters this will be his last World Cup. In baseball Sunday, White Sox beat the Guardians 7-6. Chicago splits the 4-game weekend series in Cleveland. White Sox lead the Guardians by 1 game in the AL Central. As for the Reds, Cincinnati beat Baltimore 3-2 yesterday. Reds are off Monday. They'll host the Phillies Tuesday. This update is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Take a vacation from high interest rates with special rates on balance transfers at BMI Federal Credit Union. Visit BMIFCU.org/consolidate.
After putting up with Dom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
They sure did, the broadcast gods, Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, but they have blessed us with the presence of one Justin Zwick today and tomorrow, Jay-Z. Yeah. Thank you again for the time. Hope everybody had a...
You guys are doing your charity work here early this week, bringing me in.
This is our patriotic duty, not only as Americans, but as Buckeye fans, to bring on, I'll go Massillon's finest.
Hey, there we go.
How you feeling? Because the conversations, whenever you talk about quarterbacks at college, whatever you talk about name, image, and likeness, I think to every starting quarterback that Ohio State's ever had. But you're a special case in this because of where you played high school football and how big it was for you to play in Columbus, right? Ohio doesn't love anybody more than they do Ohioans and Ohioans who play football. And I think, too, with the Sorsby news or with what we're about to talk about with Jeremiah Smith, what you could have earned as a player coming from Massillon, especially with name, image, and likeness being given the green light by the OHSAA in Northeast Ohio and then coming to Columbus with all the fanfare that comes with that. I can't imagine you don't think about that when you see some of these numbers.
You see some of the numbers these guys make nowadays, and every former athlete, football player is the same way because we all would have made money, if we would have had that opportunity. But man, life-changing would have been
out of high school, right?
18 years old, making millions of dollars to go play the sport that you were going to go play anyways. Like my whole dream growing up was, hey, get a scholarship so mom and dad don't have to help you with college. I wanted to help them, that kind of thing. And to think back and be like, well, I'd have taken 5 official visits and I'd have gotten $100,000 to go do each of them. Or, I'm just throwing numbers out, of course.
No, but that's what this is.
That might be what it is. Man, how does that change the trajectory of your life when at that young of an age you're just sitting on piles and piles of cash?
You think back to there was the news last week that 4-star defensive end Chaz Coleman. You know, he went to Penn State to play, and then he followed Jim Knowles to Tennessee. And that's a player that was given $2.5 million to transfer from Penn State, and he's 19. And a guy out of Warren, you know, who knows what his family situation's like, where that kind of money given to you at that early of an age, you hope that he has a good support system around that's giving him good advice on what to do, not only with the money, but how to handle himself now as a professional. And when you hear stories like this where he was getting homesick and he wasn't participating in Tennessee's workouts, and then the Volunteers have to medically disqualify him with what? Like, you wonder, you know, how some of these kids can have their lives impacted so
it can be negatively as well, right? Because you get into this, and it's, you know, and I think Ohio State does a really good job of this when they bring a recruit in. Like, if it's money, all right, we'll see you later. You know, that's not going to be, if that's all you're worried about here, that's not going to be a good fit for us, because you can bring and, you know, you start chasing that dollar and you end up in a place that I didn't really like this as much, or you start thinking about everything else, because that's what today's world is. Everything, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side, and, you know, you start, I shouldn't have done that, maybe. You know, like, and now we're in a situation where, is he even going to play college football next year after having one of the biggest deals in the NIL transfer portal, you know, to go to Tennessee?
And all you want is just for him to because again, he's an Ohioan, so you're rooting for him, right? You're not rooting for him on Saturdays against Ohio State, but you're rooting for him to be successful.
You want all these
so
kids
much
to go out
more
and be successful, but you just wish, like, oh, you were homesick? Because that's some of the reports coming down. It's like, well, you had a 2.5-hour drive to Columbus. Like,
I thought it was right there for Ohio State, but then you hear the numbers, and to your point about Ohio State doing the right things when it comes to NIL, making the right decisions with, all right, if that's the money you're going to demand, we're not interested in giving that to you.
We have a bunch of guys here that we like and have been in our program, and we got to pay to keep them back, and we just can't make that swing for you. But if you want to come be a part of something special, you're going to make money. And then you bet on yourself, and we're going to help you develop to go be that first round pick.
I think you were going to say how NIL was designed, Bake.
Well, yeah, and you can tell what a person's why is real quickly with all of this. Like, are you playing football because you want to make money and make a living, or are you playing football because you love it and it's nice that you can get money along the way? And we're going to talk about Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith's a guy that probably, and he's making a good amount of money at Ohio State, but he probably could have went elsewhere and got more.
Sure.
You know?
What was Miami offering him? Did you hear $10 million?
Yeah, $10 million to go down
and
there.
Is he not worth that?
Agreed. I mean, some way, somehow, he's going to make that much money here, but they're going to have to piece it together a little bit differently than, you know, just the NIL or the money coming from the rev share and all that sort of thing.
Every school's got a different way they put together that puzzle.
Exactly.
Because not everybody has the billionaire donor that has oil money or Raising Cane's money. Like Miami's money guy has been in prison or is facing a money he's being investigated by every agency you can possibly have investigating you for money crimes.
That's their old money guy.
Was that like Shapiro or something like that? The guy's name back in the day?
I'd asked you earlier, Justin, about the amount of autographs you probably had given in your career, high school, and into college. Thousands?
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
And I see this news last week from 11 Warriors is where I saw it from, but Jeremiah Smith, who's one of 6 players that, you know, has the best odds to win the Heisman Trophy. Certainly we think around here, and even nationally, he's the best player in college football.
Yes.
That he'll be on, July 16th, doing a live autograph signing on Twitch that'll be streamed. And this is kind of the new way of doing memorabilia, right? Is you have, and you've probably seen it, where you have guys that are opening packs or opening memorabilia items that have these signatures, and the amount of money that's thrown at these things, the valuation that these have, it just skyrocketed in recent years. But Primetime Sports and Framing is out of Kent, and they're going to have an autograph session with Jeremiah Smith that you can watch on eBay, I think, the following day. So this will take place on July 16th, and then the following day, July 17th, they'll have this thing live available on eBay. And if you want to get an item signed by Jeremiah, which I can't imagine there's an Ohio State fan within the sound of my voice like, nah, I'm not interested in that autograph. You got to get them in by next Tuesday, July 14th. So again, Primetime Sports and Framing is where you want to send that. If you've got a card, it'll cost you $500.
But you might want to send a check along with that. Yeah.
And that's where it starts in terms of, hey, I'm going to pay this much to get my items signed by 4. And it only, again, goes up from $500, and that's
you have
for
something
a card.
special that you want to have signed? That's going to be, what, $1,000? I mean, they can name their price.
And I do think there's a great amount of fans out there, even fans of, not even fans really, of guys that see what this could return them for the $1,000 investment in the future.
I think you get more of those types of people coming in, like the ones that like maybe have a little side business with that on the, you know, where they're just trying to get it. The normal fan, I mean, to spend $500 on an autograph is mind blowing. I mean, I know it happens quite often, and that stuff is coming back. It's making a comeback, the cards and all that sort of thing. But
so I could never imagine doing this. Like, I have a hard time dropping $500 on anything.
Yes.
Unless you're just doing this as an investment purpose. Like, I feel like I'd rather drop $500 in VOO, and maybe in the long term I'm going to get my money back that way. Now, who knows? Maybe you spend $500 on this. Jeremiah wins a Heisman, is the first pick of the draft, and all of a sudden your $500 card is now worth $1,500. Is that something you want to do? Earn $1,000 in a year's time? Maybe so. I just couldn't see doing this. But as you mentioned, there's people probably out there with memorabilia companies. They may have a Buckeye helmet, a Jeremiah Smith jersey.
We all know someone or someones that have their basement littered with Ohio State memorabilia. So I don't want to begrudge anybody.
Oh, no, by any means.
Something in, and
that's what makes the place special, because you have people who care that much about it.
The passion,
yes,
right? It exists here in only few other places, and so you got to have it in by next Tuesday. July 14th is the date. But I just wonder if you're a scalper out there, if you're somebody who wants to send this in, pay the $1,000 to get the helmet signed, what would the return on it to be? Yeah, that's worth it for me. Like $1,500.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything
$2,000. Baker, to your point, if he is the Heisman Trophy winner, and I think he's got. So right now, according to FanDuel, Jeremiah Smith's plus 1,300, Julian Sain plus 1,300, Trinidad Chambliss plus 1,100, right up there with Darian Mensah, the former Duke, now Miami quarterback, Arch Manning plus 800, CJ Carr, the highest odds at plus 750.
I would think if that situation happened, like he wins the Heisman, he's the number one pick in the draft, whatever you paid $500 to sign, it becomes $1,500, and you make $1,000 in a year, that's a pretty good return on investment, but you don't know if that's going to be the case.
Right. You don't know if he's going to come back for another year of college, because he can now.
He can.
I know he's not going to, because he will be the first round.
It falls in line how we say it. If he does win the Heisman, then Ohio State's likely playing for a national championship. Then his quarterback, Julian Sain's likely on stage with him in New York City for that, and likely both of those two players are gone to the NFL.
Yeah. I don't even know if the Heisman matters that much, because he's going to be the first or second pick in the draft, right? I mean,
I think so.
I mean, I know the Heisman helps with getting your money back and all that, but let's just start with the Biletnikoff Award. I mean, the guy's been the best receiver in college for 2 years in a row, and he hasn't won that one yet. I mean, can we start there and just kind of build from? But I think regardless, you're gonna, if it's $500, if the cards keep going the way they're going, you're going to have a card that's worth more than what you paid for it, I think, when it's all said and done, as long as he stays healthy and he's on the field.
And if you think you're playing the super long game where he's going to have a gold jacket,
that's where I'm going.
Then you sit there and you go, that's totally worth it, because in 15 years, I'm selling this for a price that right now we couldn't put on it, because today's
where
price
it will be
is definitely,
then. Yeah, it could be $10,000 card in 20 years.
This all goes to points that we've made on this program about the transparency and name, image, and likeness, and how it's really not there. And I'm okay with Ross Bjork coming out 2 weeks ago and saying that they look to have an operating budget at Ohio State because largely of NIL in the $500 million range. I do think transparency is a good thing. There's someone in the college athletics landscape that thinks it's not, and you'll hear from them coming up next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Cool cars, cool people, good tires. Get ready for the biggest and best automotive happening of the year. The Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals, presented by Grundy Insurance. Over 6,000 classes. Shop the swap meet in Huge Fender Midway. See which ride takes home the crown of the Good Guys 2026 Forge Line Street Machine and Classic Instrument Street Rod of the Year. All this weekend at the newly renovated Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Details at good-guys.com.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place. Here with a happy customer.
Wilson's trying very hard.
Thanks, Mom. I mean, Margaret.
Wilson, is this your mom?
Yes.
Mom.
Wilson, your mom should like your windows.
Oh, I wouldn't know. We actually have Pella windows.
Mom!
They've really lowered our energy bills.
I'm going to go wait in the car.
Get the windows that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, and every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America. Discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Starting Saturday, July 11th, we'll take you back to some of the greatest comebacks in Buckeye football history. It's Buckeye Weekly, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
Hear the games on the Fan, OhioStateBuckeyes.com, and on the Learfield Varsity app. Go Bucks!
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plan on a scattered shower or storm chance for the rest of the day. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. We see high temperatures in the mid-80s. Any stray showers or storms end early tonight with a partly cloudy sky. Still warm, though. Lows around 70. Mid-80s again on Tuesday. Another humid one. Might be another shower or storm, again mainly during the afternoon and evening. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. If you love a good pie analogy,
think of the cap as a pie, and once you take out one piece, there's less left for the next guy.
Then this is the radio show for you. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, Justin Zwick rolling along with you on this post 4th of July Monday. Hope we're all dealing with all 10 of our digits after a long and steamy 4th of July weekend. I'm reading from the Royal Belgian Football Association in their response to FIFA postponing a suspension giving to United States striker Flo Balogun that they responded to the initial news on Sunday. So Flo Balogun is allowed to play tonight in their round of 16 matchup against Belgium because his red card suspension has been postponed, Justin. So he'll have to serve it sometime maybe, or he can't get into more trouble on the pitch again, or else it's double what he
Yeah, so that's like suspended
received
for this tournament.
Right. It would be suspended, and they won't have to do it unless there's maybe an international friendly down the road. There was reports that the president got involved and called up the head of FIFA and said, you have to deal with this. And FIFA doesn't have any mechanisms to allow for a appeal of a card in the World Cup.
There's just nothing there, which is wild.
So
right?
Clear as mud. And what now the Belgian Football Association saying when they responded on Sunday, so they had their the response saying that we disagreed with the statement, and then their head coach was asked about that statement. He said, look, the Belgian Federation isn't just defending itself for the national team, it's defending football in general, its integrity and its ethics. Belgians saying that FIFA took what they said yesterday as an appeal, not a formal appeal. So I'll read it from the Royal Belgian Football Association. As its only response, FIFA sent a letter to the RBFA stating that it had considered the correspondence to constitute an appeal, that a judge had been appointed, and that the RBFA had only a few hours to complete that appeal. No information whatsoever was provided by FIFA. So it looks like FIFA went to them, if I'm reading this correctly, and said, oh, you didn't like what we did? Well, that's your appeal. We'll give you a judge. You got a couple hours. Let's figure this out. Telling me that they're going to allow Balogun on the pitch
that's
tonight
basically
at 8
saying,
o'clock.
sorry you don't appreciate what we did, but we're going to do it.
We're doing it anyway.
So
clear as mud.
We had Mike DeCourcy on earlier, and if you missed that, it's on the socials, or you can find it anywhere you get your audio and podcasts. Just search Bishop and Friends. But he just reposted this. And it's red card suspensions suspended, players cleared for the 2026 World Cup. So, and there's been 5 now, including Flo Balogun, Cristiano Ronaldo, who had a three-game suspension. They knocked 2 of those off, suspended 2 of those games. Now, the other ones here...
He must have murdered somebody to get a 3-game suspension.
It said a one-match ban.
He got an elbow to the head. He got high with his elbow.
So these other ones are 1-match bans. One of them was a 2-match ban. It says did not carry over, and then moved away from the tournament. So I believe Cristiano Ronaldo's, if I'm not mistaken, was in a qualifier.
So his was before the World Cup, but the matches would have had him miss group stage games in the World Cup.
Was it in qualifiers for the World Cup? So that one's kind of weird. Like, if you got a red card in something outside of the World Cup, I don't think it should carry over to the World Cup. Like, the World Cup should be its own entity. Now,
that's what FIFA said.
Now, if these are in qualifiers for that, now that's another story. Like, you're trying to get into the World Cup. I don't know when all of these were, but if some of these were outside of World Cup matches or qualifiers, I would think that's okay, that they're okay to play in this, and whenever they go back to their team or whatever league or what, I don't know. I don't have all the backstory on this, but
I think the clearest one is Ronaldo, right? I mean, he got suspended
for
going into the World Cup for qualifying. That should have carried over into the tournament he was qualifying for.
Justin is deliberately cloudy, is deliberately hazy. So, because now FIFA's telling Belgium, well, your complaint, that's an appeal. So we'll figure everything out, and we'll hear your appeal, or we'll assign a judge to hear your appeal. And I don't know if they're making a call to Lubbock, because, again, they're in Seattle tonight. You've got the other round of 16 matchup between Portugal and Spain. That's at 3 o'clock today in Dallas. So I can't imagine anything happens that changes the news from yesterday. So you're going to have Balogun on the pitch tonight. United States taking on Belgium at 8 o'clock. Winner gets the winner of Portugal and Spain in the quarterfinals. Also, clear as mud is name, image, and likeness, and the money that's involved in that in terms of schools and what they spend. You're hearing $2 million for an Ohio State, or for a running back or $1 million for a running back at a high school that Ohio State's interested in. Mm-hmm. All of these things you hear about, right? And it's only really when the universities come out and they say, here's what we're making from television deals, here's what we're spending, here's a cap that we are using, but that's not necessarily the cap that is that's not necessarily the cap that NIL is actually total for this roster. Yeah. I think some of it done on purpose. I do, again, appreciate what Ohio State's doing and trying to be as transparent as possible, saying in a couple of years we're going to have an athletic department budget that's going to be around $500 million. A lot of it is because you need more money year over year to put together a roster that's going to win you a national championship. And a lot of what Ohio State's got is money coming in from their media rights deals with the Big Ten, similarly with the SEC. And one of the reasons, Justin, I think both conferences are so opposed in the Protect College Sports Act is because it would try to pool everybody together for media rights. They had no interest in that.
Yeah, they don't need to, right? They're on top of the mountain.
One of the key, I think, misses from the Protect College Sports Act is they want to treat all schools, all athletes the same. Like there was Maria Cantwell's, the senator from Washington, who's one of the co-sponsors on this bill, and she had said, and I'm paraphrasing in the last couple of weeks, that the Big Ten and the SEC are trying to put their athletes above the other 500,000 that are college athletes. I'm like, well, you can't treat them all the same. You can't treat athletes at Ohio State the same as you treat athletes, and this isn't to disparage Mount Union or Case Western or Baldwin Wallace, but they're not the same in this at all. And so for the Big Ten, for the SEC, even for Notre Dame, their media rights, they've got no interest in divvying that up to any more or to going back and saying, all right, let's all come together, and then we're going to go back to Fox, to CBS, to NBC. And to Fox and CBS, they're like, we've already got the money. We've already agreed to this.
We already had the ones we want.
We're good. Pac-12 commissioner, her name currently escapes me, but she had signed an extension. Teresa Gold is her name. She signed a 5-year extension through 2030, 2031. That deal is the same length of the league's grant of rights, which runs to 2031, their media rights deal with CBS, the CW Network, and USA Sports. So I think Brian Kelly's going to be calling games for the Pac-12 on the CW Network, which if you could tell me all of the teams, all 9 full-time members, you do better than I.
And win a prize.
I think it's 8 of those 9 are football. Gonzaga, the only one non-football. So Teresa Gold was on The Bald-Faced Truth with John Canzano, who covers sports in the Pacific Northwest, has done so for years, talking about media rights for that conference.
Yeah, well, look, I think there's a long kind of history in our business of a lot of folks, whether it's the media, whether it's, industry people, kind of focusing in on media rights numbers. And I would say a couple of things. Number one, media rights are one piece of the overall distribution, right? All money is green. All money can be spent. I personally think, number one, that it's incredibly inappropriate to be releasing numbers of agreements that we have with media rights partners that are very complex and have rights fees included, have marketing commitments included. They're not simple agreements. But I would also say, in addition to the confidentiality of the agreements that we've signed with our media rights partners, we prefer to focus on our entire business enterprise and the overall number that our members will get at the end of the first year, FY27. That is really the more important number than the media rights number specifically.
I think she's saying this because they don't want to compare.
Yes,
they're getting to what the SEC, the Big Ten, and Notre Dame are getting.
I'm pretty sure that your 2 biggest conferences, Washington State and Oregon State, or your schools, are public universities. I believe all money and out from there has to be disclosed. That's public record.
There's a lot of state schools in that conference now.
Which is why I am shocked that there's so much hiding of NIL numbers and stuff, especially at universities like Ohio State, because it is a state-funded university and all of their numbers are public.
And I think they should be. I think what Ohio State's done such a good job at is being as transparent as possible. Could they be better? Of course. I think we could all be better in terms of our financial transparency, especially when it comes to college athletics and the money that's being made versus the money that's being spent. I think everybody should have to open up their books, especially if you're going to ask fans for more.
Well, it only gets cloudy kind of in the off-the-books money, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we've come in, the rev share, I think they said, football and basketball are going to get, $1 million of that share. And so that part we know, it's just the donors that come in on the side. And is that something any of us will ever see? Because is that something that you have to? You don't have to put that out there, right?
Exactly what Jeremiah Smith's going to be making.
You don't know what the guy at Texas Tech is actually going to pay the team.
Right.
Because it's all just coming from his bank account.
But I'm perfectly fine if they wanted to release those numbers.
Oh, I would love to.
Especially when they're trying to get money from the fans in order to fund more and more things. And when it comes to Ohio State, they're in the same boat as everybody. You've got an athletic facility that needs repair. They're going to do $125 million for the Woody Hayes. I don't want to think about really the price that it would be for a new horseshoe.
Oh, for the shoe that needs renovated?
But it starts with a B.
Oh, it's going to be a B.
At the very least. We'll get Austin Ward's thoughts on that. And the Flo Balogun
Drama.
suspension. All that coming up in 2 minutes with Austin Ward. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
With rates lower than the national average, plus special rates on balance transfers, a BMI Federal Credit Union Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card would be the perfect card for your wallet. Visit bmifcu.org/visa for more details and to apply today.
No one plans to get into an accident, but when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
If you dread dealing with your insurance company more than you dread yard work, in 90-degree weather,
wow, it is a scorcher out there today.
with a swarm of hungry mosquitoes buzzing around, then you might have Insuranoia. And if you have Insuranoia, then you should get NJM. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. NJM.
Life is full of uncertainties. You can't control the economy, the prices at the pump, or the grocery store, and you certainly cannot control the weather. But the one thing you can control is your home's efficiency and comfort. Steve here from USA Insulation. Let us help you take back control of your home by insulating your walls with our premium foam. You give us a call today, we'll come out, we'll insulate your walls, and we'll throw in your attic for free. So give us a call today, 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Sponsored by Wright Pat Credit Union.
He joins us every Monday at this time, courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. And normally, Austin, we bring you on to do some Ohio State football. Well, let's start with some international football and the World Cup and the news from yesterday that the president got involved with Team USA and their match against Belgium tonight. What'd you make of that news and I guess the scuttlebutt that's followed since?
Yeah, Reeser, you know my feelings on that. I always think we should have more politics involved with sports. We haven't had enough of it with, legislation for college football and college athletics and protecting and saving the College Sports Act. So, yeah, I think that part of the story, I think, has been a little bit, distasteful to some. I guess it depends on your perspective on that. But and obviously I'm going to be biased in this view because I'm a U.S. soccer fan, as all four of us are, including Baker, who I know is fired up for tonight. But the red card should have never gone to VAR in the first place. The system was flawed. So I think the fact whether this took different avenues to get to the outcome, this was the correct one. Belgium, I think, is understandably going to be put off by that and frustrated that, they spent several days preparing for a different outcome and a different lineup from the U.S. But I don't know that should come at the expense of the Americans' chances of putting their best foot forward and competing and winning in the Cup when they were done wrong in multiple ways last week, not just with the potential suspension, but that they had to play down a man for half an hour when it was a clearly unintentional foul and not something that, based on my understanding, was subject to the VAR review process. So however we got here, whether that's political intervention, whether that's home cooking for a host team, I don't know that really matters that much to me. I can understand why it would to Belgium, but I think they got the right outcome, and I'm excited that both teams get to play at full strength tonight.
Well, I know you've been dialed in on this. You're a big soccer fan. Going into tonight, I mean, there's reports that we maybe are still waiting on some kind of appeal or, something along those lines. But, whether he plays or not, do we have what do we have enough to get this thing done tonight and move on?
Yeah, I like to think so, Jay-Z. This is starting to get into rather uncharted territory for the United States, and it's been since 2002 and the Dos Acero win over Mexico since the U.S. had been been to the quarterfinals. So to get there would be a huge accomplishment, and it's not easy. I think this is a lot different where, in a similar scenario against Belgium a dozen years ago, Tim Howard had to stand on his head and was under relentless assault and kept the United States in a game where it was overmatched against one of the better teams in the world. I think the United States is, especially at full strength, on more competitive footing with Belgium than it was a year ago, and perhaps this Belgian side is not quite as supremely talented as it was. I think it's a pretty even matchup. I think that's also why I think it's so important for the United States to have Flo Balogun available to this one, because I think when you're comparing some of the really successful World Cup or Gold Cup runs or any other competitive tournaments that the United States has been in, you look at what has been missing. It has been a clinical finishing striker with that kind of game-changing athleticism up top. And Balogun, it feels like a prisoner of the moment and hyperbole, but he represents something that I just don't know that the United States has really ever had on a consistent basis. So I hope that consistency shows up again tonight. I don't really understand how much longer this appeal process can go, or if we would go back and forth with a little, Michael Scott, snip, snap. You got to make a decision at some point and follow through with it. But I think we've got a really good chance to see the red, white, and blue through, and how much further it can go beyond that, we'll see. But I'd love to have everybody down there at Land Grant to celebrate it with us all and see if we can get to Friday.
All right, so you just answered part of my question, because I was going to say, what's the plan here tonight, Austin? Like, who are you going to be watching with? Where are you going to be at? What's the beverage of choice? Is there food that has to be involved? I need the setup.
Well, it got a little bit more complicated by the timing of the match. In some ways, a little bit fortuitous. I mean, I'll be hanging out with Beamer from 6 to 8 on the Buckeye Show. The game starts at 8, as we all know. So I think what we have going is the girls will drop me off at the station to hang out with Beamer and talk on the radio for a couple hours. I imagine we'll talk a little bit more about soccer on the Buckeye Show than we normally do for the two of us in there. And then I've got to get over to Land Grant as soon as humanly possible. However that looks, it might just be an Uber situation. Maybe I'll just run because I'll be so fired up and full of adrenaline for the start of that game. I don't know, but we have expanded the bandwagon quite a bit. I've been talking a lot more about the United States national team with my father-in-law than I ever have in the 20 years that I've known him. He's been all in on this tournament, so I think he and my mother-in-law will join us down there at Land Grant. We've got some great friends that are going to tag along. I have never, Baker, in my life, watched a soccer game with Jeremy Birmingham. But Birm's going to go down as well.
Oh boy!
So, I mean, everybody's getting into the mix here. I mean, this is the good thing about, and this is what I was telling you a few weeks ago, Bacon. I understand if you're still holding out and you don't want any part of it. As I've said over and over, it's such an easy sport to get into. You don't have to follow it every day. You don't have to follow it every year. Even if you only follow it in the World Cup, oftentimes that can be enough when you're having a chance to, go out with friends, understand how simple, the scoring and a victory is to obtain in soccer. The way that works now got a little bit more complicated for a lot more people trying to understand the red card and Balogun's scenario. I understand that part, but to have a drink, to have some food, to have hundreds of people who everyone is pulling for that same side in this country, and the fact that it's in the United States is a real cherry on top. We'll set aside all the rest of the nonsense with ticket prices that Reeser and I were bemoaning a couple of weeks ago. But I know that the American Outlaws and its home chapter, and I haven't been able to get to Land Grant for any of these yet because the last two matches were while we were on the cruise, which, by the way, was also awesome because They initially had like one small pub on the Disney Magic that was going to be reserved for the U.S. Well, I mean, that was packed and like probably against the fire code or the naval code, whatever it is, by an hour and a half before the start of that game. They had to take over another theater to show the game last week. So I'm excited for that because all the others have sort of been, impossible for me to get down there and see some old familiar faces. But tonight we will as soon as I can possibly make it.
All right, so what I'm hearing is live Austin and Berm reaction show from Land Grant after the United States and Belgium. You can find Austin and Berm on YouTube. Are you guys doing the Roosters show this week?
Yeah, I'll be jetting out of here right after this.
So that's also today. I did want to get your thoughts real quick, Austin, because we haven't spoken since Jet Harrison made his commitment to the Buckeyes. They're also in on a top flight running back with 3 names, David Gabriel Georges, for the class of 2027. How close are they to that, securing that bag?
Yeah, I mean, the bag, I think, is the key there. Ohio State's been very competitive with the offer for DGG there, that he is clear, far and away the top priority for them on the recruiting trail. Now, they've also been very successful the last couple of weeks, not just with Jet Harrison, but a number of other top flight and 5-star targets. It's going to be down to Ohio State and Tennessee for that. There have been other names in the mix, and everybody wants David Gabriel George. There's no question about that. But I think he's announced a date of 2 weeks from now, roughly, unless that's changed, and I'm not aware of it. Ohio State continues to feel like they've put every best foot forward to make this the spot where he chooses to play. Now, if it comes down to pure finances, I don't know that Ohio State is going to continue to escalate a bidding war against Tennessee, but it has been very competitive on that front. I don't want people to think that that's a scenario where Ohio State is, cheapening out or trying to, cut costs on the salary cap. They're heavily invested here. They have got the proven track record of development, NFL success, college football playoff success, offensive success, a relationship with Carlos Lachlan that if this thing gets across the finish line for Ohio State, the story of Carlos Lachlan's recruitment of David Gabriel George, I think, is going to be a phenomenal one to tell with everything that has gone into it and the communication and the Duolingo. And
did he really learn French for that?
He might have already known it.
Oh, fair. It'd be a better story if he learned it.
Yeah. The way I'm telling it right now is that, because I joke with him about Duolingo, and he's been, communicating with him in French. So, we'll get to the bottom of that if that day comes. But, Carlos Lachlan is also a bit of a Renaissance man. He may know like 10 languages already. But we'll see. Trips over to Canada, trips down to Chattanooga, back and forth. It's been pretty phenomenal to watch. We'll see what happens with it down the road. But I think the Jet Harrison one was a little bit more straightforward. He'd been in the Woody hundreds of times with his brother and with his dad as well. So that's a huge deal, the number 1 player in the country a year from now. So pretty exciting stuff on the recruiting front. And I know Berm will have all that covered for us on the 97.1 The Fan YouTube channel as well.
So you have Austin and Berm, wherever it is you do your podcasting, also on YouTube. Roosters Live Show on YouTube featuring our buddy Justin Zwick, and then Austin and Berm tonight at Land Grant for USA Belgium. Bud, thanks so much for the time today. Enjoy the wild Monday that you're about to have.
Will do. Go Yanks.
And he joins us courtesy of the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. The greatest athlete of our time performed over the weekend, and we haven't discussed it, but we will next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Hey, friends, Beamer here. Warmer weather, longer days, lighter meals, more time outside. Summer gives weight loss a head start. Awaken 180 gives you the plan to make it happen. Ride the momentum with Awaken 180, the official weight loss program of summer.
At CEC Turf and Tractor, family means everything. That's That's why we're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations to the CEC family. We're honored to carry on the relationships Green & Sons has built in these communities for generations while expanding our ability to serve you with more parts, more inventory, and faster response times. As one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers, CEC Turf and Tractor is growing without losing sight of what matters most: hardworking people, trusted relationships, and hometown service. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today for all your Kubota needs.
This is Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel. If you're driving and take a quick glance at your phone, more can happen than you might think. Because taking your eyes off the road for even just a moment is like driving the entire length of a football field blind. Don't let those few seconds distract you from what's right in front of you. Phones down, eyes up, Ohio.
Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. Offering the guaranteed best price is always our baseline. Wedding weekend adds an exceptional advantage. Join us July 24th and 25th and enjoy preferred bridal pricing on select wedding and anniversary bands with advantages up to 30% off, plus special no-interest financing on engagement rings. It's a rare opportunity to pair meaningful value with exceptional service and reputation that define Diamond Cellar. Discover Wedding Weekend July 24th and 25th at Diamond Cellar on Selma Road or Easton Town Center.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At Tri-State Men's Health, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Feature therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Common Man and Timmy. Voted America's dumbest show by Marconi voters. Common Man is a Columbus radio legend. And by legend, I mean it's a miracle he hasn't been fired yet. And Timmy is, well, Timmy will complain about anything and everything. And he kind of looks like a woman. Giggity, giggity, giggity. So there's that. Common Man and Timmy.
Sponsored by Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on The Fan.
Thank you for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. We make room for possibilities.
We've loaded the moving van and we're leaving a ton of stuff at our old address. Can you make it disappear?
All you have to do is point.
Can you come right now?
We're on our way.
We make space for hope.
We make space for dreams.
We make space for what matters.
We are 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Let us make room for your possibilities.
We can make your house happier.
And your future brighter.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows?
Oh, no.
Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, Justin Zwick rolling with you until noon. Our thanks to Austin Ward, who's got the busiest day of anybody ever, where he's going to Roosters for the live show with you, Jay-Z, coming up.
At us, then live show at Roosters.
Then Buckeye show, then
game watch.
However, he's going to get to Land Grant for Team USA in Belgium in the round of 16 of the World Cup. Looks like Flo Balogun's going to be on the pitch for that. Belgium has an appeal that's right now in the process, but according to Belgium, the Royal Belgium Football Association, they didn't really ask for the appeal. They just expressed their disdain at the ruling from
we don't
yesterday.
Like this.
We're not thrilled with it. And FIFA's like, all right, we hear you.
Yes.
However, we do not care.
Yeah, you have been heard, but now be quiet.
Winner gets Spain or Portugal in Friday's quarterfinals. That game will be at SoFi Stadium. Tonight's matchup, that'll be at Lumen Field in Seattle.
Thing or not a thing?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I would say Sunday's Balogun news was the second biggest announcement yesterday, because the Columbus Clippers announced a special appearance from Joey Chestnut at a game Friday, August 14th at 7:05. In case you missed it, and I don't know anybody that would, the 42-year-old Chestnut won his 18th mustard belt Saturday, consuming 64 hot dogs and buns in the span of 10 minutes at the famous Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest on Coney Island. Joey Jaws is going to throw out the first pitch of that game with the Columbus Clippers against the Omaha Storm Chasers. Again, that is Friday, August 14th at Huntington Park at 7:05. Thing or not a thing?
It's a thing if he's going to eat any hot dogs. I mean, they're gonna give him 5 minutes to see how many he can throw down before. Yeah, I'd make him do it before he goes out and throws out the first pitch. But no, this guy, 42 years old, I can't believe he's still doing it at this clip.
Nuts.
I mean, 64 hot dogs in 10 minutes. I think his record might be in the 70s. So he's slowing down a little bit here. But every 4th of July, you turn that TV on, you turn that contest on, you know our boy's going to be there. And then the Clippers signed him right after the big win to come over and throw out a first pitch. Maybe worth going down to the Clippers for that one.
He doesn't have Kobayashi anymore, so he doesn't need to push himself
That's true.
to get to 70.
He's getting lazy in his old age.
Could we get Kobayashi here at Huntington Park and have a little bit of a contest?
Ooh.
The thing in this is that Friday, August 14th, last time I checked, Dime Dog Nights aren't on Friday. This is a huge missed opportunity. Now, I understand Joey Chestnut has a schedule and maybe nothing. Up your offer, Clippers, because he needs to be there on a Dime Dog Night. This is a huge missed marketing opportunity.
I feel like they should be able to make that right and just say, hey, you know what? In honor of Joey coming in,
let's make that.
Let's go ahead and make this a Dime Dog.
And then even more, after he eats the hot dogs, he should have to run in the hot dog race.
The hot dog race is probably more manageable for them to have him do. And I shorted him 2 hot dogs. He did 66.
Oh, was it 66? Okay.
This past Saturday. So my apologies there. And I think this is, for me, just another sign that I'm becoming old, because it's never disgusted me before watching that thing live. On Saturday, I was disgusted.
It's always been disgusting.
I've never felt it before.
I love myself a hot dog.
Saturday, I felt it.
But when you're watching them just do what they do to those hot dogs, it's disgusting.
So I have told this story before, and I know they're eating quality hot dogs, Nathan's hot dogs. If there's a quality hot dog,
all beef.
They're eating quality hot dogs in this thing.
They're famous Nathan's. I don't know.
I want to say I was in my early 20s because this still was at Cooper Stadium. That's how long ago it was for the Clippers. We went to a Dime Dog Night, and I was like, I'm just going to see how many I can eat. I'm going to go at this.
Let's go.
So I was on a 3-dog an inning pace for the first 5 innings. So I got 15 hot dogs down. I felt sick.
Right.
Like there was no way I was doing
no
any
beer
more.
no beer was involved. You were just going straight dogs.
Yeah,
in
I
water,
don't know if there was. I don't know what the beverage of choice was at the time, but
it should be beer if you're putting 15 hot dogs down.
I was not feeling great after 15, so I don't know how these guys are doing 66.
They train. You ever seen them do a training? Like they go into a restaurant and just say bring it all out, and they just wolf it down.
You've got to expand your stomach so much to be able to hold that. And I thought it was a missed opportunity that I didn't see Tums anywhere on the sponsor, like the backdrop.
As he's getting older, his sponsors are going to change a little bit.
The official drink should be
Pepto-Bismol.
I saw Poly Markets involved with this because, of course, Poly Markets involved with everything. But yeah, it was the first time watching Saturday realizing like this is the grossest thing ever. And what I want with the international flavor that we've had with the World Cup, where you see on social media a lot of international football fans coming over and experiencing America for the first time, just to sit there and watch, like the German fan. I would have loved to see his reaction to this.
His face. Like, what is happening?
Because it is insane.
There had to be some there, right?
You would think so.
Coney Island in New York, yeah. It was like also 98 degrees.
Well,
whatever heat you were experiencing here in Columbus was also experienced by that. So the hot dog thing. The house where the Heisman House commercials are filmed is reportedly up for sale. So I saw this. College Sports Only had the tweet, and it was a screen cap of a Zillow listing of a house in Pasadena, California, which is very fitting for a place that they would have the Heisman House commercial. I think Nissan's the car brand that does that. $32 million in Pasadena will get you a 7-bed, 11-bathroom house, 18,000 square feet. And you get to say, I live at the Heisman House, without actually, having won the Heisman. Thing or not a thing.
How much does the Heisman add to that $32 million, do you think, that they do those commercials there?
Out there, probably not a lot.
Not a lot. Yeah, you're probably right. Somebody who's buying that is just like, what's the Heisman?
They do what now?
I don't even know what that means.
I love
the house, though. I'll buy it.
I saw the $32 million at first, and I was like, yeah, that's probably... goes up because of the commercial. And then Reese said Pasadena, California. I'm like, yeah, it might be a steal out there. Who knows?
That is incredible. Some tech guy is going to be buying that house. He's not going to know anything about it.
We have, I think, enough time to get to this one. Joe Pompliano of Sports Business Journal said that FIFA is making so much money during this World Cup, they're looking to come back to the United States to host the World Cup in 2038.
I love that idea.
FIFA is already gaming the system to make sure the U.S. can host it again in a decade, and it's all because of money. Let me explain. This year's World Cup was designed to print cash. It's the first one on U.S. soil in 32 years. FIFA expanded the field to 48 teams, the stadiums are massive, and American fans are used to paying absurd ticket prices. For FIFA, this was the perfect setup, and it's paying off. After generating around $6 to $7 billion in revenue during the last 2 cycles, FIFA will generate a record $13 billion in revenue and $10 billion in profit during this cycle alone. But FIFA can't just hand the U.S. another World Cup right away. Too many countries want it, so they had to get creative. You see, FIFA has a rotation rule where once your confederation hosts a World Cup, you're blocked from hosting the next 2 tournaments. So, because North America has 2026, the U.S. can't host in 2030 or 2034. Fair enough. But then FIFA made 2030 weird. They gave the main tournament to Spain, Portugal, and Morocco, knocking out Europe and Africa. They then added Uruguay, Argentina, and Paraguay for 1 match each. 1 match, that's it. And suddenly, South America is technically tied to 2032. Then 2034 goes to Saudi Arabia, taking Asia off the board. So by 2038, do the math. Europe, block. Africa, block. South America, block. Asia, block. And North America, eligible again. Which means FIFA can look around and say, well, who has the stadiums, the airports, sponsors, the TV money, and proof that they can generate more revenue than any World Cup ever? The answer is obvious, the United States. FIFA will tell you that this is just a byproduct of their rotational system. But it sure looks like they intentionally built a rotation to end right back in America.
Thing or not a thing?
I think it's a thing. I'd love it. I think if any country in the world could do a big time sporting event, America is the place to do it. We got all the stadiums, we got all the hotels, we got all the infrastructure for it. I think it's just a no-brainer to do that. And if they're having a ton of success this year, I don't even care about the money. I just think it's for fans and for everybody. It just gives a better experience when you have the infrastructure to go along with everything. So a lot of easy to travel here in the United States. It just makes sense to me.
Reese, we know that money talks, and as we've learned the past couple of days, FIFA's okay bending their own rules to get what they want, so...
Workarounds?
Well, you said rules. FIFA has some explicit rules, but they really don't have any. We'll discuss that next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Scotty Vegas here, and my new Bronco from Krieger Ford might go down as one of my best purchases of all time. I love it. The family loves it. I decided to get my wife's car some much needed service. Krieger Ford conveniently picked up her car. I was prepared to spend a ton on repairs. Nope. They walked me through the problems, and it was fixed and brought back to our driveway in a day. Plus, saved me some money for some summertime parlays. The Krieger Ford experience is awesome. See for yourself at KriegerFord.com.
Getting a speeding ticket can ruin your day. But what about that cyclist or the pedestrian crossing the street? If you hit them while speeding, you'll do more than just ruin their days. That's why tickets are more than just a fine. They're a second chance. A reminder of what's on the line when you're behind the wheel. You won't get a do-over every time. So take this as your sign to follow the speed limit every drive. Speeding slows you down. Paid for by NHTSA.
Well, Lorenzo, the pitch looked good.
Yeah, so green.
USA keeper was decent enough.
Didn't have much to do.
99 minutes.
Not a single goal.
Well, Bet365 sure came through, though. I bet $10 and got $150 in bonus bets just for signing up.
At least someone scored. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T's and C's apply. In-app only.
Celebrate Star Spangled Savings with Logan Services. Right now, save up to $3,000 on a qualifying train system. It's hard to stop a train. Free same-day estimates, next-day installation. Logan Services.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I grew up here, and after 25 years of telling this community stories, this place still means so much to me. When I'm not in the newsroom, I'm usually out supporting the same people and causes I care deeply about. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer, to speak up, or lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Morgan & Morgan isn't just an injury firm. It's our family's life work. It's my husband, it's my sons, it's me. When we take a case, we see a family just like ours. $30 billion recovered is something I'm proud of. But what I'm really proud of are the families we stood beside. It's an honor to fight for you when you need our support the most. Morgan & Morgan, for the people and your family.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station or buy online. For more information, visit 10tv.com/beattheheat or lifecarelines.org.
Party at your place this summer? Fix things up inside and out with July 4th deals, now at Lowe's. Get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $80 on the select Charbroil Performance Series gas grill, now $299. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Team USA battles Belgium tonight at 8 for a spot in the World Cup quarterfinals. The U.S. men's team was told on Sunday striker Balogun would be available for Monday's game in Seattle. FIFA has postponed his red card suspension that was given in their round of 32 matchup with Bosnia. The Athletic says on Monday the Belgian Football Federation is appealing Balogun's reinstatement. Tonight's winner gets Spain or Portugal in the quarterfinals. Those teams meet at 3 o'clock today at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. Portuguese star Cristiano Ronaldo told reporters this will be his last World Cup. In baseball Sunday, White Sox beat the Guardians 7-6. Chicago splits the 4-game weekend series in Cleveland. White Sox currently lead the Guardians by 1 game in the AL Central. As for the Reds, Cincinnati beat Baltimore 3-2 yesterday. Reds are off Monday. They'll host the Philadelphia Phillies on Tuesday. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Take a vacation from high interest rates with special rates on balance transfers at BMI Federal Credit Union. BMIFCU.org/consolidate.
Your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to Send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
Happy Monday. Hope your 4th of July weekend was a solid one. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, Justin Zwick rolling with you for the next hour today, and then we're back with you tomorrow. We'll pull Dom Taberry out of retirement tomorrow at 10:30 for a normal Tuesday hit. Dommy's only got a month left in his retirement. Then it's back to work as Ohio State's training camp is going to be underway. We'll be live out there from the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. And one of the cooler things that I think any college football team does is allow a couple practices to be like an NFL-style training camp.
Yeah, I think they're really coming around on. I mean, it used to be so closed. You can't come to practice. I mean, they would let the guys in and they'd watch us, do our stretches, and then they'd all have to leave. So I think it's really cool. I mean, I think they're selling tickets to fans to come out and watch some of the practices, and letting the media in there. You're opening things up a little bit. You're running this more like the NFL types.
And what was awesome last year was you got to see legitimate football. There was a point, I think it was either Friday or Saturday, maybe even both days, where Ryan Day and company brought out zebras. And they did a scrimmage, and they were letting it rip. I mean, there was a quarterback competition, so to speak. I think they did legitimately make it play out at practice, that this wasn't just Julian's job, that Lincoln had to battle for it, and they did just that. And you got to see pads popping. You got to see Bo Jackson. It was as close to a game as you could possibly get, and I think it's a great credit for them to not be scared to play football in a lead-up that was unlike any other, really. I don't remember a game one of a season against that had bigger stakes.
Yeah, and usually when you have that big game coming right at the beginning of the year, we're locked down. We don't want anything getting out there. We don't want this. And so that, kudos to them for sure.
Not to disparage too much Ball State, but this opener might not have the same. You get Texas week 2 of the season. Before we blitz the weekend really quickly with Belgium quasi-appealing the suspension or the postponed suspension of Faux Balogun. This from FIFA's rulebook. A lot of people now are bringing to light FIFA's actual rules that limit or completely disallow independent influence by governments or third parties in their tournaments. Article 14 of their statutes state member associations must manage their affairs independently and ensure their own bodies are not influenced by third parties. Article 19 states associations must be free from undue political or governmental interference. FIFA goes on to say what counts as governmental interference: political authorities instructing the federation how to conduct competition or disciplinary matters.
Never happened in FIFA before.
I was going to say, doesn't that happen all the time?
So Balogun gets the red card against Bosnia and Herzegovina. He's supposed to miss the round of 16 matchup with Belgium. That's what the rules say. And then on Sunday, you get the news that Donald Trump called FIFA's president and asked him to intervene on their behalf. That, again, is the reporting that lets Balogun be eligible for tonight. According to Belgium, they say an appeal was given to them based off of their
displeasure
with how things are going, which, of course, is as clear as mud. Flo Balogun's going to be on the pitch tonight for Team USA, taking on Belgium again. Winner gets Spain or Portugal. Coming up Friday, that quarterfinal game will be at SoFi Stadium at 3 o'clock. That's not the button I was supposed to press.
Bishop and Friends present a Weekend Sports Blitz.
Sponsored by Metal Supermarkets. Visit metalsupermarkets.com/Columbus for all your metal needs.
All right, from the weekend, Justin, the long 4th of July holiday, what'd you have?
I don't know if you guys know this, but Serena Williams made her debut back to the tennis court after 3 years off, playing in a singles match against a 20-year-old Australian, Maya Joint. I had her getting beaten that because you can't take that many years off at that age. She's 42 years old and come back into a young person's game and expect to have the cardio and just everything. Now, you maybe expect her just because she's been the greatest to do it, to step out on the court and just have it right back in her back pocket. But she's early in her comeback stage, I will say. And, lost that one at the Wimbledon.
Going to be interesting to see if this lasts longer than Wimbledon or if she's going to continue to play. I believe I had that the 4th of July is for America, for fireworks, for cookouts, for parades, for our guy Reese, and for Joey Chestnut winning hot dog eating champions. Like you said, it's like Secretariat and Joey Chestnut, the greatest athletes of all time, if we're calling Joey Chestnut an athlete.
He's got 18 world championships.
Great hand-eye coordination.
That's more than Ric Flair.
Better than Michael. Better than Ric Flair. Just saying. Had the 4th of July as undefeated. Got the chance to walk up to the UA 4th of July parade, which is always the best thing, in my opinion. One of the best events of the year. I know that Dublin does a fantastic 4th of July parade. Westerville, everybody civically, at least with their civic associations here locally, does a tremendous job celebrating, especially a birthday of this importance, like the 250th. What from the weekend did you not have, Justin?
Well, I just saw this come across. I mean, I don't know when the voting came out, if it was yesterday, but the first Buckeye baseball player to make the All-Star team. Guess how long it's been?
Ever.
2010.
Nick Swisher.
But still a long time for us to not have somebody in that game. So kudos to Dylan Dingler on being voted in on the All-Star game there for MLB.
I did not have that by the end of the week, Leo Carlson is going to be the highest paid player in the NHL. Like, I still cannot wrap my head around that deal that the Philadelphia Flyers offered him and he signed. So whether he's a Philadelphia Flyer or he's an Anaheim Duck, he's going to be the highest paid player in the league.
I did not have that All-Star rosters were out. I've only paid attention to one thing baseball-wise from the weekend, and that's Guardians-White Sox.
Well, I thought the All-Star game was on Saturday night. I saw baseball on the TV inside, and I was like, is that the All-Star game going on right now?
I think it's in 2 weeks. Philadelphia is going to be hosting
It's going to be next Tuesday night because it's always when I'm on vacation. So they'll have the Home Run Derby on Monday and the All-Star game Tuesday night.
Player who impressed from the weekend, Justin?
I had Patrick Harrington over at the U.S. Open here in Columbus at Scioto, going out and shooting a -4 on Sunday when him and I think Stuart Sink was right behind him. They went into that final round, maybe a shot or two apart, and he took off with it. Went back-to-back fourth player to defend their title at the U.S. Senior Open.
Just adding to that, only the second player to have 3 senior U.S. Open championships in the history. I had Padraig Harrington on here as well. He's actually trailing Sink going into Sunday, but he shot that -4 to shoot 12 under par overall. I'll go with Scioto Country Club, though, because all of the players seemed super impressed. It looked great on TV, the little bit that I tuned in and saw and watched. And I know they're hosting the U.S. Amateur in 36. Hopefully some more stuff comes to Columbus and Scioto because they proved they can handle it.
I was impressed with the Guardians ground crew up in Cleveland at Progressive Field. So, like everywhere in the state of Ohio, you got torrential downpours over the weekend in like limited spots. So like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Well, it was such in Cleveland that they had to postpone Sunday's finale between the White Sox and the Guardians. The warning track was just quicksand. And shout out to the Guardians grounds crew for 2 hours maybe, just dumping sand and trying to rake over that sand to get up all the water that they possibly could. Like, I didn't realize just the work and the manpower it takes to keep those stadiums playable. It's insane. So great job out of them. Player who disappointed, Justin.
Well, I was watching the John Deere Classic as well yesterday afternoon and had a heck of a battle coming down to 18. Ben Coles, who had been in the lead most of the day. There was a guy in the clubhouse at 20 under. They were 20, tied at 20 under on 18, pipes it down the fairway, and then hooks it, and it goes in the water on 18 green, and he ends up doubling that hole to go down to 18, and he ended up in maybe 4th or so, but that was sad to see because I've pulled that shot off many times in my day, and I understand what's going through his head. Not with that much on the line, but it was a rough one to end a great weekend for the kid.
It's funny, I had Coles too written down, and I don't know if it was disappointed or I was disappointed for him as he tried to get his first PGA Tour win. I'll switch it up to the rest of America. There's got to be somebody out there that can knock Joey Chestnut off. Come on, America.
No.
Let's get somebody in there that can beat this guy in a hot dog eating contest.
Player disappointed. Jordan Henderson, player for England last night in their win over Mexico, suffered a serious wrist injury after falling in the celebrations after their win. I guess a few minutes after full time, and they got like 10 extra minutes. They were singing Wonderwall by Oasis, which was a really cool scene in Mexico City. During the celebrations, he tripped and fell over one of the advertising boards and spent the night in the hospital with an injured wrist such that he needed surgery on it. They've got a quarterfinal matchup coming up on Saturday. Remains to be seen. I don't know what you do to not, but man, that is, after such a win like they had England last night, that's a kind of kick in the crotch. Bud Kilmer, honorary coach of the week.
I'm going with the men's coach, Mauricio Pochettino. Am I saying that right?
Pochettino.
Yeah, Pochettino. I mean, didn't happen over the weekend, I understand, but big win last week, playing with 10 guys at the end of that game. Getting that win and then coming into Monday night. Hopefully they can keep the excitement and the power going.
For right now, I'm going the U.S. government, unless this changes and screws Team USA tonight and moving forward. But
from the government, I'm here to help.
They got in there. They did what they had to do. They greased whatever wheels, and Flo Balogun's playing tonight.
It's Stephen Vogt for the second week in a row for me. The Guardians skipper, not only they took 2 of 4, they split the weekend series with the Chicago White Sox. They're only a game back without so many of their players, including Jose Ramirez. But in that maybe 90-minute, 2-hour weather delay, he was out there coaching the grounds crew and with the umpires, making sure that warning track was safe enough for his players. So heck of a job out of you, Stephen Vogt, with that. So I didn't know that the All-Star voting was out. Another thing that I didn't know was just how successful that this World Cup has been for Team USA from a television standpoint. You hear some of the staggering numbers coming up next. It's Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
Big Voice Guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is D. Miller. Declare your independence from low testosterone at Low T Center. Start with the free T-test. Stay on the treatment for 90 days and receive $250 back. It's the Low T Center 250 for 250 offer. Book your free T-test at fixedbylowt.com.
Common Man and Timmy has been voted the dumbest show in America.
What size pant are you in? That's a Puma pants, and you know that it's wrong. It's a 38.
Here's a comment from a real listener. I just started listening to the stupid show. It's minimal sports discussion with large amounts of absolute nonsense.
Why don't you just put on a sundress and sashay around the town square?
Common Man and Timmy reaching new heights of stupid. Weekdays from 3 to 6 on The Fan, Ohio's nonsense destination.
There's this thing repair people do nowadays.
Mappo's Plumbing. Sure, we do have a dispatch fee. It's $1 zillion.
A dispatch fee, a trip charge, going out to your house bill.
Bippity Bing Bong Electrical. Our trip charge is a nice new car.
But not Apex Pros, the pros who knows. When you call Apex for repairs on your AC, plumbing, or electric, there's no dispatch fee.
Thank you for calling Apex Pros. Why would we? Kinda silly to ask for money before we do anything, isn't it?
We give you an upfront price only after we know what's really going on. We think it's the right thing to do, instead of
Slappy's AC, electric, plumbing, dry cleaning, haberdashery, and chiropractic. Of course we charge to come out. $1 kajillion, 3 diamond rings, and 2 exotic pets.
Apex Pros. Never a dispatch fee. Examples of competitive rates may have been slightly exaggerated.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
I take care of the kids, my dad, things at work, but I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression. Go to mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first
and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. In Ohio, we're powering America, discovering breakthroughs, driving the future, propelling tomorrow. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Ohio, our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept. And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Byrne. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Plan on a scattered shower or storm chance for the rest of the day. Otherwise, partly cloudy skies. We see high temperatures in the mid-80s. Any stray showers or storms end early tonight with a partly cloudy sky. Still warm, though. Lows around 70. Mid-80s again on Tuesday. Another humid one. Might be another shower or storm, again mainly during the afternoon and evening. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Miss a little, miss a lot. Catch Bishop and Friends wherever you get your podcasts. It's free.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The Fan. Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, so we have confirmation from the man himself that a review was requested. This is President Trump 20 minutes ago on Flo Balogun's red card in their round of 32 match against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Quote, I've never seen anything like it. I saw the play. That wasn't a foul. That wasn't even an infraction. That was two guys running full speed that happened to crash into each other. So, yes, I asked for a review by FIFA, end quote. And so you get the news on Sunday. Red card suspension postponed. He just...
I feel like most Americans feel the same way he does on there. If you watch that play, what are we doing?
So I think the interpretation of the rule would dictate he's out for the match. And I think that's where Belgium takes umbrage with it. And that if you are issued a red card, you are not playing the next match. So they have a right to gripe. I think Americans also have a right to say, thanks, FIFA.
Finally, something that you guys did shady that worked out.
Well, I do think it means now that the United States can be an official soccer country, that we have been aided by FIFA corruption. I think this makes us part
this
of
is our initiation
the
into the club.
international soccer body. Their win, the U.S. men's national team over Bosnia, averaged 24.4 million viewers on Fox. That thing peaked at 31.8 million. It makes it the most watched soccer telecast in English language U.S. history.
Do you know what the Super Bowl does off the top of your head?
100 million?
Does it do that much more?
Yeah.
I was just curious.
I don't think
I was just going to try and.
Well, that's the thing, right?
I want to say, Reese, these numbers are like similar to those Netflix Christmas Day games.
That makes sense.
From a few years ago. If I remember that right, the 31.8 and all of that. I want to say that's pretty close.
Yeah. That's the one thing. So Seahawks, Patriots, 125.6 million.
Yeah, I mean, the Super Bowl, maybe that's not fair, but I mean...
There's nothing in American sport...
It's one game, one night.
There's nothing in North American television you can match up to the Super Bowl.
No.
You know, maybe there's...
That's an unfair comparison.
Maybe there's some matches overseas. Maybe there's international cricket that does, in terms of global televised audience, that kind of a number. But yeah, it's the one thing you can't compare it against. So it's incredibly impressive that... You know, they're doing those kinds of numbers for a World Cup match. It does mean that there is some excitement. Now, I will understand with the fans here, the listeners here, there is some fatigue over the World Cup because there's not the interest in football. And so where we come on to this station and say, you know, you gotta love this. No, I really don't have to love it. So I understand from a football fan.
But it's just in the sports world, it's kind of the biggest thing happening right now. You know,
I would say that the World Cup.
You got regular season baseball going on. You got, free agency and some other sports, but this is like, the one thing happening. So I understand that aspect.
Because I know, Baker, you haven't watched a second.
But it still comes down to...
No, I haven't, but that doesn't mean, obviously, right, that it's not a big deal and that most people are, and I could recognize this. And listen, I'm sure it's fun tonight when Austin goes over to Land Grant and all those people are there. Like, I've been in those environments before for sporting events, for Buckeye games, for hockey games. And of course, it always, when there's people around you and they're all juiced up, it also gets you more juiced up. These numbers, though, Reese, are phenomenal, especially as we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
There's so many more choices now for you to spend your time and to put your eyeballs on other things. So this isn't just people, and maybe a little bit of it is people turning on Fox, looking for their normal Fox program, and this is here, and maybe it captivates them. This is people searching this out. They're looking for it.
Well, and it couldn't have been better timing either, because you just had the 4th of July. I mean, everybody's, you're most patriotic around this time of year, I feel like. And people kind of lose that, unfortunately, throughout the year. But now you got a game coming Monday night, just 2 days after the 4th, with all the fireworks and everything. The one thing about this is everybody's on the same team, right? I mean, it's all USA, baby. You're going to be at these watch parties. It's all going to be USA. They'll be chanting. I mean, that part of it is got to be really cool to see. Now, will I go do that? No.
It is pretty awesome.
You're not going to tune in tonight?
No. I won't be going to an event to watch the game, or, I may watch a little bit of it before I go to bed tonight. But
it is pretty awesome. You just mentioned, and you talked about the patriotism, and everybody has it around the 4th of July, and then they lose that other parts of the year. It's interesting, like, we're told all the time that we are a nation divided, and it's this group versus that group, and this and that, but yet all of these foreigners who have come into this country have talked about how friendly all of the Americans have been, and maybe we just shouldn't listen to what people tell us all the time and realize that, hey, if we just talk to each other and hang out, we're good people.
Sport is really the ultimate unifier.
Brings everybody together.
So with that round of 32 game, Bosnia-Herzegovina at 31.8 was the peak. Just comparing it to other major sporting events in North America over the past couple of months, Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the Spurs and the Knicks averaged 24.5. It peaked at 33 million. The Stanley Cup Final, 5.2 million viewers is what the Hurricanes and Golden Knights average. So
it's a big deal.
Give you a sense just how big of a deal this has been, I think it's awesome. And I do think it's a great escape from everything else. The celebration of America's 250, a World Cup run that Team USA hasn't had since 2002. It all makes for an incredible story, an incredible storyline that can be continued tonight with a win over Belgium at 8 o'clock. So they're playing the game in Seattle. From Front Office Sports, beers at Lumen Field are about the midpoint for what fans of the World Cup are paying, about $12.99 for a beer. $17.99. Reading is very difficult for me. Seattle, $17.99 for a beer, and that's right at the middle. Atlanta's got the cheapest beer prices at $5 a beer. I think it has been
for Atlanta.
You think we're doing 24 ounces? I mean, these got to be pounders, right? For $17.99.
The smallest draft size available is what Front Office Sports is running the numbers through. So I think that does vary at each of the stadiums. Atlanta, I think, has been known for their concession prices. That Mercedes-Benz, they've kept it, and I think it's a great credit to Arthur Blank and Falcons ownership, at a set price, so that you can bring a family of 4, and the ticket's expensive. It's always going to be expensive, but everything else makes it so that you can have a day with your family. Houston, $14, so more than triple, almost triple Atlanta's prices. Miami, $14.50. Dallas, $15.95. The game that the United States hopes to be in on Friday, SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, $18.50 for a beer. The most expensive, and this kind of surprised me, Levi's Stadium in San Francisco, $24.50 for their smallest available draft size.
Why did it surprise you?
I thought it would. So the price and the location. I did think it would be Los Angeles or New York, New Jersey.
I mean, you kind of figured it would be somewhere in California that would be the most expensive.
Yeah. I would also say that Los Angeles was probably, if you were going to ask me before reading these. So for reference, Boston, $16 for their smallest draft. New Jersey, $16 as well. Which, if you're going to a Blue Jackets game, you're paying $13.50 for a can for 24-ouncer. The beer's expensive at these stadiums, except for Atlanta. Good job out of the Falcons there.
I think Arthur does a great job down there. And I think I saw somebody had a Chick-fil-A sandwich at a game there, but it didn't have anything on it because they're not allowed to have any logos
so you
or whatnot.
Which stinks. Yeah. And,
they're like, it's still same old
New
good
York,
sandwich.
New Jersey, but for Chick-fil-A, if it's not on a Sunday, you can get, that's probably the best concession food you might be able to get at any stadium.
I had a buddy who played down there for the Falcons. He said he would take 5 or 6 Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches home every night.
Yeah, and because of the news...
Just not on a Sunday.
He was working on Sunday, so it didn't matter, right?
There was something from Sunday that I think most people missed, because I don't know how much you're watching CBS News, and they had Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, on Face the Nation yesterday. was asked about the Big Ten and the SEC going their own way. You'll hear from the NCAA boss coming up in 2 minutes. It's Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
The big one returns to Ohio. It's the Good Guys 28th Summit Racing Nationals presented by Grundy Insurance. See over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and classic trucks on display. And don't miss Good Guys Autocross racing action, a tire-smoking burnout competition, a pro street takeover, an earth-shaking Nitro Thunderfest, meet the top builders, and so much more. Happening all this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Party at your place this summer? Fix things up inside and out with July 4th deals, now at Lowe's. Get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $80 on the select Charbroil Performance Series gas grill, now $299. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for almost 80 years. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Yes, you are. Eric Reeser, Ryan Baker, Justin Zwick with you. We'll be doing the same thing tomorrow, 9 to noon, the three of us. We'll pull Dom Taberry from wherever he is in retirement. And again, just 1 month left for Dom to enjoy this summer break, because then you're going to need him back at work, because Ryan Day's getting the boys back together for training camp. And Dom's got to be there.
Wild
for this.
that it's here already, huh? I mean, it's not here right now, but
it always
here.
happens,
It
Justin.
does.
And I always say at the beginning of the summer, and then it points throughout. Don't wish this away. Don't wish the 4th of July away. Don't wish the month of July away because you want to get to Ohio State football. I think that does fall on a lot of deaf ears, because we sit there through the summer months and wish for September 5th.
You wish
we
on
wish
Saturday
for
we
Ohio
had a
State
game to
and
watch.
Texas, and it's really, we've done the job over last however many years of providing the kind of content that makes you long for days in the shoe in the fall, that makes you long for time spent on High Street tailgating games at Ohio Stadium, that makes you long for the newest edition of the game. And so we'll have that over the next couple of weeks of different stories. I know that Big Ten Media Days are going to take place at the end of this month in Chicago, which is probably the better place for it than Las Vegas.
Yes.
Because what are we doing?
What
are we doing going out to Las Vegas to have a conference where most of the people in Las Vegas don't really care at all about college football outside of betting lines?
Most of the people that are going there, it's further to get to.
Just a pain in everybody.
It is.
But I for Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten, he has got to do the best job at making money, at creating more opportunities to make money. And he works for the athletic directors. He works for the universities. He does not work for the fans, which is going to be even more so obvious the more we're going to have to pay to access our games on streaming services. Like you think the money's going to be a lot. The money's a lot. Now it's just going to become more and more and more as you get into the 2030s, whenever the Big Ten wants to renegotiate their media deals. And as the playoff likely faces expansion, it's probably not a matter of if, it's a matter of when this thing gets expanded. Do media deals get redone? Does ESPN realize, and I think they're starting to come to that realization, because, Justin, you're going to have college football playoff games presented by ESPN on TNT and on TBS in this edition, which will run through January 25th. that's just going to get more. The more you have more.
Yeah, the more games you have, the more stations will be playing.
So it'll be interesting for me to see where the NCAA goes with this, because they're involved in the college football playoff, but you don't need them to run this thing. You haven't really needed the NCAA in 20 years. They do a great basketball tournament, and for the Olympic sports and for the non-revenue sports of the programs, they're what run everything. So they would tell you, no, you need us. They would tell you, no, you've needed us. And I think most would say, really don't.
Yeah, they've been trying to hold on for a while now, I feel like. Almost like you would have what's this decision going to be? Well, they don't want to make they don't want to make them mad, so they're going to just do what that school wants because they don't want to lose it.
And it makes sense that, the Big Ten trying to find money in television, trying to find money in streaming, would go to a streaming executive like Tony Petitti, who was a former Hulu guy, for how to move forward in this future. It would make sense as eye-rolling as it is to the NCAA to get a politician to run things, because he's going to please everybody. He's going to know how to say the right things. He's going to be able to take slings and arrows that come with being
and then
the boss.
NCAA just sits back and says, well, this is what they came up with. And it sounds good. I know there's some tweaks that need to be made, but, let's just go ahead and start, because they want to be involved and they want to be kind of that middleman that's not really making decisions, just trying to keep other people happy, but they want to just make sure they're there.
And I think the best job the NCAA has done is kicking the can down the road when it comes to serious decisions. And I look to more of that. I think they want, or they see, this Protect College Sports Act as a way to create meaningful legislation that helps them get back the control that was wrestled away from them by lawsuits, by name, image, and likeness, and by the transfer portal. So Charlie Baker, former governor of Connecticut, is the current boss of the NCAA. He was on CBS Face the Nation this past Sunday, and he was asked a series of questions, but one being with media rights deals being the way they are with the Big Ten, with the SEC, with Notre Dame, and then everybody else, and talk from institutions like Georgia, where you heard their head coach, they heard their athletic director pitch a secession, which we've known the South, has done and could do, and taking the Big Ten with them, going their own way from the NC2A. Baker's thoughts on that.
They'll have a hard time running national championships if they do that, because everybody won't have the same rules. I actually like and respect a lot of the people at Georgia in particular, and at Ole Miss and at LSU and at a whole bunch of those schools who I deal with on a pretty regular basis. I think the possibility of trying to figure out some way to determine what really has to be a national standard to have national championships, and what you probably could do at a conference level, because it doesn't, necessarily affect our ability to run national championships on a level playing field, could be one way to think about it.
I mean, it's one way to think about it, but
that's the one way he wants to think about it.
Sure.
You need us for national championships.
So in a way, he's right, because if you're just having the Big Ten and an SEC do a tournament to decide who's the best, it's really not a national championship, except...
Yeah, but if that happens, right, they're going to bring in more people,
else, right? Like, who's the other person? Like, who are you missing in this scenario? Like, every once in a while, maybe it's a Miami, maybe it's a Notre Dame, although they could easily pull off an agreement with Notre Dame. Maybe, like a couple years ago, you're worried about not having Clemson, but really, nobody's beating the Big Ten or the SEC anymore.
Well, and the fact is, if we were to do that, you take those two conferences, things will change. We will add other teams just for numbers purposes and whatnot. So you might get to Miami or Clemson. They're going to have to leave whatever they have going on, but they're going to say, yes, we're going to go to this league and have a chance to be the best in the country at it. And the money's going to be better, and we're getting away from all this other stuff. I think that's the way it almost has to go. Football has to be on its own.
And Reese, you mentioned the NCAA doesn't run the college football national
championship. No, do not run the college football playoff.
He's talking about what, basketball, baseball, softball.
Sports,
you can still do that. Have that.
He was also asked, with the newest piece of legislation they want the federal government to provide guardrails on college athletics, why he, Charlie Baker, and the NCAA support Protect College Sports.
If you were to say to me, is the eligibility system that we currently have working? I mean, if everybody would comply with it and stay out of the courts, maybe, but they don't. There is no agent regulation, which is a huge problem. You talk to any student athlete about that and any school about it, they'll tell you that. This provides some regulatory structure around agents. It also deals with all the state preemption issues. What we're really trying to achieve is some sort of national framework so that you can have national championships and national competitions in which, for all intents and purposes, everybody's playing by the same set of rules. Now, I understand some of the concerns that the Big Ten and the SEC in particular have raised with the bill. We have some concerns with the bill too, but to simply walk away from something that deals with a number of the most significant challenges that face college sports at that point in time, in my view, would be a mistake.
So he's hoping that the NCAA or that the Big Ten and the SEC will come back to the negotiating table with some change or some different wording, some, I guess, more palatable wording for them for this bill that is in the next couple of months they hope to vote on. It's wishful thinking, and I, for one, hope this vote does. I hope the vote happens and it dies on the floor, because I really don't think that the federal government is at all capable or responsible for fixing what the NCAA has not done for college athletics, putting us in the spot that we are all in.
Yeah, I don't know that they are in the business of being able to take on more. Because they don't even do what they're supposed to do with what they have now. So you're throwing this whole thing onto it. Like, let's just maybe leave that out of it. Let's just try and figure this out. I mean, you can still have rules and regulations if they were to secede and do their own things. I mean, you would have a group and you would make rules and you could maybe have a cap, or I don't know how that all goes, but they're just, NCAA is trying to hold on to the national championship aspect. That's why you kept hearing him say that. And it's like, yes, but no, because football is just a whole different monster than all the other sports.
Yeah, it's not something that you can, even across divisions, you can treat the same. No. They're different in Division 1, 2, 3, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, all that's different. In
even within Division 1, it's different, right?
The FCS, it's the FBS, or the bowl subdivision. Like, none of this can be treated the same. And so there has to be a realization, and I do think it would take this final kind of nail in the federal legislative coffin for everybody to realize it has to be on us. I've maintained forever that the coaches and the athletic directors of the universities, the Nate Oateses of the world, the LSU coaching triumvirate, need to be the ones that have to actually agree to what they say they're going to agree. Like, they talk it all the time. They need to walk that walk. And Nate Oates, I know, Lane Kiffin, Kim Mulkey, Will Wade, they're not going to abide by rules because they don't have to. They've never had to. It doesn't benefit them to play by any set of rules. If that's going to be the case, then you're never going to be able to get anything done, because all of this requires adults to act like adults.
Well, then you have all these coaches who had been through both aspects of it, before NIL, after NIL. They have to like before NIL better.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, you're banging your head against the wall year after year, throughout the year. So you would think coaches would want to have some kind of like, all right, this is what we have to work with. This is what we're allowed to work with. And we're going to stay within that, because I remember what it was like when we had 2 transfer portals and we had to worry about that stuff all year long, and guys asking for more money and this and that and the other.
You know who's done a great job of it? Ryan Day, Kurt Cignetti. What do these guys have in common? National championships, consistently at the top of the college football landscape. Like, there's the questions that have been about Cignetti is, can you do it a third time, bringing in a quarterback from the portal, bringing on other guys from the transfer portal who you have not recruited or developed to make a run for this thing. And so far for him, so good. And I do think there is that acceptance from Ohio State, from Indiana. There are other schools out there that have accepted the way things were. You're not going back to. How's a radical acceptance of the way things are and doing what you can?
Yeah, they're not going to totally change themselves to work in this world. They're going to figure it out.
You got to be malleable.
Yes, exactly.
So it's why I think they've been so successful. They will have continued success. We will do 3 things on a Monday. Coming up next, Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
The rings, the moment, the forever. Make it unforgettable. Join us July 24th and 25th for Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend. Enjoy preferred bridal pricing on wedding bands and engagement rings, now up to 30% off. Visit Diamond Seller on Selma Road or at Easton Town Center.
This
This is Mary at the Department of Rejected Dreams. If you had a dream rejected, IKEA can make it possible.
Hi, I've been dreaming of having an epic college setup.
But your college budget is less than epic.
Way less.
Well, with IKEA, you can get everything you need for college, from bedding to storage and decor, all at a great price.
That's good economics.
Sounds like someone just found their major.
Visit IKEA in-store or at IKEA.us to get ready for college. IKEA, dream the possibilities.
Still riding the bench at a dead-end job? Time to get in the game. The Carpenters Union is hiring right now in the Columbus area. We're talking solid pay, real benefits, and a career you can build with your own two hands. No nonsense, just hard work and a future you control. Call a Carpenters Union rep today at 614-236-2440. That's 614-236-2440. The Carpenters Union. Build your career. Own your future.
Making ends meet matters for Ohio families. Congressman Mike Carey is working to help you keep more of what you earn and get the benefits you deserve. Mike Carey supported the Social Security Fairness Act, helping ensure public servants like teachers, firefighters, and police officers receive the full benefits they've earned. And Mike Carey is working to deliver tax relief for more Ohioans. Congressman Carey backed historic tax cuts for working families and seniors. That plan eliminated taxes on tips and overtime, expanded the child tax credit, and provided thousands in tax relief for Ohio seniors. Because whether you're working, raising a family, or planning for retirement, every dollar matters. Visit carey.house.gov to learn more or get help accessing benefits or dealing with a federal agency. Congressman Carey's office is here to help and fighting to help your family keep more of what you earn. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Mike Carey.
Being diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, or one of over 100 other types of blood cancer makes people want more time to do the things they love. That means more time to be artists, prom dates, world travelers, and moms. We are Blood Cancer United, the world's leading organization focused solely on blood cancer research, support, and advocacy. We do the most for more people with blood cancer, so people with blood cancer can do more of whatever they want. Blood Cancer United. Join us at bloodcancerunited.org.
Hey folks, it's Jeremy Birmingham here from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. Did you take Awaken 180 up on the Lose 40 by the 4th challenge? If you did, good for you. Seriously. You saw the finish line, you ran the play, and now July 4th probably feels a whole lot different. If you didn't, I get it. I was great at scouting the problem and terrible at actually fixing it. I can spend all day talking offensive line depth, quarterback reads, recruiting classes, and more. But when it came to my weight, my game plan was basically, well, maybe tomorrow. Then I started Awaken 180 and I lost 40 pounds in 8 weeks. There were no weight loss medications. There was no pretending I suddenly became a gym rat. It was just a real plan, the right food, and coaches who knew what and when and how to adjust. Because I have arthritis, my knees, my ankle, my wrist, everything else, that weight mattered. There's less inflammation. There's less pain. There's fewer daily injury reports from my own body. So maybe July 4th wasn't your deadline. That's fine. Pick the next one. Make this summer the season you actually do it. Go to awaken180weightloss.com.
Have you ever met a man who wins money betting on tennis? Enter Scotty Vegas. Join Scotty and Dave Biddle for On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Sunday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
You know, most days working on the program, I find the Fan Poll a minute before we come back on the air on the last segment of the show. So this is an incredible job out of, I think it's Dylan who does post the Daily Fan Poll. The guys at T-Bone and Tyvis, I think all
get together and kind of
figure out what the poll's going to be, but it does relate to the conversation we've been having for the last 3 hours, whether it be FIFA, whether it be the Save or Protect College Sports Act. Daily Fan Poll sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub. It asks, is it ever appropriate for the government to be involved in sport? 66% say no.
I think that's fair.
You already know my thoughts, Reese. Until they can get all the potholes fixed, I don't want them doing anything else.
Yeah, for me, it's probably not. I'm leaning no.
Yeah,
Just the things that they do or that they are supposed to do, they can't get right. Sport is more complicated, and it shows with the Protect College Sports thing. You have Maria Cantwell, one of the co-sponsors on the bill, say that the Big Ten and the SEC shouldn't speak for 500,000 student athletes. It's like, well, no, they're not. They're speaking for their student athletes, but their decisions trickle down to all of them because that's how college sports has worked forever. So it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of college athletics.
You don't typically have people up there who follow sports and really know that much about what's going on.
Tell us who the Heisman
busy doing everything else, right?
They can't even, again, do that correctly.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
So first thing for me, Justin, I'm an agent of chaos, and so I do appreciate how now that there was presidential intervention in a World Cup red card, that FIFA is now, I guess, welcoming appeals from everybody. So Team France had a player get a yellow card against Paraguay. Well, now the French are appealing to have that yellow card reviewed and rescinded.
So is that just like an X post, since there is no actual appeal process?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
We're just going to voice
FIFA
our
doesn't have appeals processes
at FIFA. Yeah.
But now, what you've allowed for is a World Cup that every time a yellow or a red card gets shown, you're going to have to deal with consequences post-match.
Yeah, maybe we should just keep those things in our pockets, the referees.
Love it for FIFA.
Yeah.
Maybe if you have a guy with a red card, just play him anyway. Say, what do you got? Who cares? What are you going to do? Stop us.
I love that idea. Just right in their face.
First thing for you.
First thing for me. Rowing from California to Hawaii is 2,400 miles. Kelsey Findler just did it and broke a record in 43 days.
Huh?
She rowed from California to Hawaii solo. She has the overall and women's record for this route, completing it in just 43 days. I think the men's one was done in like 56 days or something like that. So she smoked everybody. This rowboat she was in, I did see a picture of it. It wasn't our typical, it was a big boy.
It wasn't a kayak.
It was like a wide boy, like it looked like it had, some storage in the front and the back where she might be able to get into it if she needed to. But regardless, a big boat rowing across the ocean by yourself, 43 days. Could you imagine being on the water that long?
My arms are burning right now just thinking about it.
It's crazy.
First thing for me, and Jay-Z, you mentioned this a little bit when we blitzed the weekend, but congratulations to Dylan Dingler, former Ohio State baseball catcher. You mentioned he's the first Ohio State baseball player since 2010, Nick Swisher, to be named an All-Star. He's just the fourth ever, joining Swisher, Frank Howard back in the late 60s, early 70s, and then Johnny Edwards in the early 60s. Dingler has always been a really good defensive catcher, but his bat has caught up here the past couple of years. He's batting .266 with 19 home runs, 59 RBI in 82 games this year. He's the first full-time catcher since Pudge Rodriguez in 2000 to have those numbers in the first 80 games of a season. His WAR is 4 right now. That's almost double any other American League catcher. So huge congratulations to Dylan Dingler.
I love and appreciate everybody every day for chiming in the YouTube chat. We got a great little community that does kind of the show within the show. And I saw this from Chris as we are talking about the daily fan poll. He says, didn't Theodore Roosevelt save college football to begin with? So without the government, we don't have college football. And I did a quick Google. And in 1905, President Theodore Roosevelt famously saved college football from extinction by intervening to curb its extreme violence. This from the History Channel. Facing public outcry after 18 player deaths in 1904, Teddy Roosevelt summoned coaches from Harvard, Yale, and Princeton to the White House, ultimately leading to the creation of the NCAA and the legalization of the forward pass.
Well, they got something right, I guess. Yeah.
You love a good forward pass.
It's been a long time, but they got something right. So I've got this, and it started on Saturday, July 4th, actually. Riders in the Tour de France started. They have the team trial right now in Barcelona. That happened on Saturday before finishing 3 weeks from now, the Tour de France. Do you guys get into it like you used to? Did you ever get into it back in the day with Lance Armstrong?
With Lance, yeah.
Is it off your chart now? You don't even worry about it.
I'll make that my third thing, Baker. I'll let you go.
So I didn't even know that it was starting, but I did see there was a nasty wreck and pile up over the weekend that somehow nobody had any broken bones out of. But Yeah, I used to pay attention to it, but I haven't in a long, long time. Second thing for me, I've always been a little bit of a tennis fan. My parents played a little bit when I was younger. I always had a tennis racket growing up and played some, never in organized sports or anything. And I've always enjoyed Wimbledon because it was kind of like the Masters of tennis. And I've had it on here this past week while we're doing the show on the TVs in here. I did not realize that on this date in 1968, Billie Jean King became the first person, man or woman, to earn prize money when she won Wimbledon in straight sets. I didn't realize that Wimbledon was an amateur tournament before then. So a little fun fact on Wimbledon that I did not know before today.
So when Lance was the dominant figure in that sport, usually would check in on the Tour de France. I've come around on Peacock as being one of the best streaming services for sports, and the World Cup's had a lot to do with it, but they offer the Spanish language broadcast. And with soccer, because I'm the most layperson when it comes to the great game, the beautiful game, however they want to phrase it, I don't need to really understand the commentators because I see goal. Mm-hmm. I see soccer ball go into goal. I understand what goal means. And it's great to have, the ability to watch different views and versions of broadcasts. But with the Olympics, you could see all of the sports. Peacock provided that, and with the Tour de France over the last couple of years, you can see different stages and kind of go back and watch things. Like this is going to sound morbid, if a big wreck happens, you can kind of go back and watch it and see, some of the key moments of 3 weeks, you said?
3 weeks, yeah.
So it's a good job that they provide that, yeah.
No doubt about it. I saw a little podcast of Joe McGuire, the punter at Ohio State, was on. I just thought this was funny. Talking about, you always hear that if you're early or if you're 15 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And he's just talking about how you don't ever want to be late to one of mixed workouts because you will be on what they call dawn patrol Saturday morning, 6 a.m., cleaning the weight room, walking the woody, finding any little white lines that might be in the green grass, community service. But he said, literally, I would rather crash my car than be late to one of his workouts. I just thought that was funny. Made me think back to all the punishments that we, had back in the day of, just messing up or being late to something.
We'll have to get to that tomorrow.
No way would I want to disrespect Coach Mick's program. That's for sure. Don't go anywhere. Rothman and Ice have you covered on your Monday afternoon. Oh, a friend of our program, Joshua Perry, in for AR with Maddie.
You'll have
today.
that to look forward to, which is wonderful. Justin, it was wonderful to have you on the program today. Let's do it again tomorrow, 9 a.m. to noon. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner